accident, one thing leads to another. Your injury leads to treatment. Treatment leads to hospital bills. Bills lead to debt. Debt leads to stress. The advocates can help relieve that stress. Having an advocate attorney on your side leads to faster resolutions, fair outcomes, and a peaceful recovery for you. You deserve an advocate.
This is the Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find the Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, the Monty Show live on Wednesday, August 27th, 2025. A pleasure to be with you as always. The Monty Show presented by The Advocates at theadvocates.com, the best in the business. I tell you every day, all you get when you go to The Advocates is clear, risk-free advice. And the best part is there's no consultation fees. There are no big retainers. No, sir. You don't pay The Advocates unless and until they win your case. Check them out right now at theadvocates.com, who reminds you the last holiday weekend of the summer is here. Please be careful. You know, all weekend long that you are going to have a lot of kids on bikes, scooters, families riding bikes, walking the dogs. Slow down, look both ways, put the hands at 10 and 2. But if the worst happens, be prepared. Get to theadvocates.com for the best legal advice. I love it. They operate with empathy, no matter where you are, when you are, where you need them. That's what you get with The Advocates. A lot to get to today. Interesting. Right before the show started, I was talking to a good friend of mine at a certain particular university in the Big 12, who was telling me that Brett McMurphy is completely full of BS. And you know, I did not watch. Apparently, he did a whole podcast today. Brett McMurphy did about realignment and what's going to happen in college football in 2030. And, you know, I'd been working on this Pac-12 story today. I really about how they sick their know-nothing mouthpiece on UNLV today. And he did a massive hit piece on UNLV with nothing, I don't know, like facts to back up his story. But this story about the meltdown of the ACC in 2030 quite literally has people at universities laughing hysterically. And I just find it so interesting that here we are in 2025 and we have sources saying to Brett McMurphy that, oh my God, in 2030, all hell's going to break loose. Bro, that's 5 years away. And I continue to beat this drum because, and I'm going to get to the Pac-12 in a minute, but this story about that Brett McMurphy, UNC, Virginia, highly sought after in 2030. And I just say to myself, at what point do we stop biting the hook on this? At what point as college football fans do we stop saying, oh, well, in 2059, who cares? And I will continue to sit here and tell you this every day on this show. When you buy into people that are so thirsty that they're reporting on 2030, realignment in 2030. Do you understand how absurd that is? We have no idea what college football is going to look like in 2026, and you're talking about realignment in 2030. Let that sink in. And I can tell you, trying to chase down, you know, the facts and the way that things are happening behind the scenes, it is already a very difficult task. But, you know, we're rolling up to the show here at 2:00 Pacific, and it's like 1:40, and I'm sitting here trying to write the show and do our SEO, and I get a phone call from one of my guys in the Big 12 telling me, is this who you guys have become now?
Oh, you guys.
And that's what I said. I was like, what do you mean, you guys? And he said, well, did you see this McMurphy thing? And I'm like, no, but I heard about it. And he's like, it's ridiculous. Has Utah talked to the Big Ten multiple times? And I know that Big 12 fan, this pisses you off. And I think that's a lot of why this comes up. And I guess Brett McMurphy talked about Utah and other members of the Big 12 going to the Big Ten. I can tell you straight away, sources close to that situation have told me from the jump, this is not new. I have said this on this show, that Utah is perfectly happy being in the Big 12. With the current state of play, Utah is thrilled to be in the Big 12. If the ACC were ever to melt down, and I'm telling you that's not happening, there's not going to be a situation where the ACC completely implodes and the college football world changes as we know it, and we're at 2 conference. There's just no sense to that. And I also can tell you, I've spoken to people at Utah. They have consistently told me they have and have continued to keep in touch with the Big Ten. Why wouldn't they? Why is that controversial? I will never understand this whole thing that goes on where we have to get fired up and pissed off and Utah hates the Big 12. Utah does not hate the Big 12. Anybody telling you that Utah is looking to get out of the Big 12 and they don't want to be in business with BYU simply does not know what they're talking about. Because again, as much vitriol that as there is on the courts and fields and competitions between Utah athletics and BYU athletics, they are really close business partners. Most of the people at BYU and most of the people at Utah went to BYU and went to Utah. They're 40 miles apart down a freeway from each other. It is no different than USC and UCLA. It is literally no different. And this idea that somehow BYU is driving Utah out of the Big 12, it's just not the case. It's not the case. Utah athletics has one thing in mind: win every single rep. Football, basketball, baseball, softball, track and field, and the guy sweeping up the stands after the game. Everybody wants to win every rep. And frankly, I didn't mean to start the show with a rant, but I'm so tired of all of these fans. Every time somebody like Brett McMurphy, who routinely does this now, hey, in 2072, Bethune-Cookman's going to be in the SEC. Oh, do you know how far away 2030 is? It might as well be 100 years away, a lifetime. A different lifetime. I'm just going to repeat this. We don't know what college football looks like in 2026. That's next year. A year from now, we have no idea what the parameters of the college football playoff are.
But Monty, Brett McMurphy's got a crystal ball. I mean, come on. He knows exactly what's going to happen, and he knows the odds, and he knows who's going to be where. I mean, come on.
I lose my patience. And listen, I understand that Brett McMurphy has a job to do. He works it on 3. I totally get the game. But we cannot continue to play this game because all you're doing is damaging brands here. All you did today was turn Big 12 fans further against Utah. And for what? To report that in 2030, the Big Ten, and I'll stop saying what he reported. Here's Brett McMurphy on 3 on YouTube talking about it.
You guys are surprised he didn't say 24. Because I think, that kind of what Andy laid out. I think we're going to be 20 or 24 with the SEC and the Big Ten. The question is, what is going on with the Big 12 and the ACC, and are they going to be allowed to be part of that group? I think it's very clear. Andy, you want to speculate recklessly about who it'll be? Look, after I reported that this morning, I immediately got a text from someone within the SEC and basically said what I've been thinking, and that is North Carolina and Virginia will be highly contested between both conferences. And where they end up, look, no one knows. It's impossible to say. But I do really believe that they are the most attractive to both leagues. And we'll have to see what happens. Again, 5 years is a long way off. 2 years is, light years way off. But speculate recklessly.
Even said speculate recklessly.
Who's at fault? Is it Brett McMurphy's fault, or is it everyone else's fault for eating this stuff up and treating it like it's the Bible or something? Like I don't know. I don't know at what point do people learn their lesson. I mean, you're first of all, he's not saying anything that hasn't already been said. We've talked about it on the show a million times. Over the last 2 years that UNC and Virginia and Duke and probably, South Carolina, honestly, and, there's several other there, but they're all going to be bandied about. They're all going to be, they're always competing. They're always trying to find the best situation. So it's not some hot take to say that, oh man, UNC is a Big Ten brand. Yeah, I could have told you that, dude. That's not rocket science, man. And I think that the hard part is that people turn this into, oh, well, Utah's leaving anyway. Screw them.
Utah hates the Big 12.
Yeah.
Utah hates the Big 12.
Utah hates the Big 12. Like, screw Mark Harlan. They're all terrible up there. Like, dude, settle the hell down. Like, Brett didn't say anything that hasn't already been said, man.
No. And I just go back to, this idea that the Big 12 and the ACC are going to disappear, and I hope people understand. And I was talking to a guy today, and he's telling me, hey, Greg Sankey and Brett Yormark are very close. They talk on a regular basis, oftentimes multiple times a week. They bounce ideas off of each other. I said, so it sounds like they're business partners. He said, I wouldn't go that far, but these wild rumors, they're just that. Here's what I know, and here's what people in college football and television are telling me. Everybody in college football is fully focused on figuring out what the college football playoff is going to look like in 2026. This idea that the Big Ten is trying to get to 24 teams, I have not heard that one time. Not one time. Are they focused on getting to 24 teams, or are they looking at anything other than what does the college football playoff look like next year, and how do we get Michigan back on track? I told you this when the penalties were announced a couple of weeks ago. The Big Ten's full focus as far as business operations go, mitigate the penalties on Michigan as much as we can because they're vital to our money-making operation. It is as simple as that. And I continue to hear that. And I can tell you, talking to people in TV on a regular basis, multiple times a week, everybody tells me, hey, there's going to be a new entity formed, and there is positive momentum. And I had a TV executive who sits at the top of the food chain tell me today that Super League conversations are happening as we speak. And I said, Super League, new entity. He said, call it what you want. It's what I've been telling you for months. And that is that the Big Ten and the SEC are in lockstep, that they need to get out from under the NCAA, if only to stop the lawsuits that seem to never be ending, whether that is eligibility lawsuits, whether that is the House settlement, the lawyers' fees. And it's so funny. We're going to talk about the Pac-12 here in a few minutes, but you look at all the lawyers' fees, and this TV executive said not everybody spends on lawyers like the Pac-12 does.
Well,
and that's how much of a punchline lawyers' fees have become in this business. And you look at what TV executives have told me repeatedly. This new entity will be wholly owned and operated by private money in partnership. The NFL, most people believe the NFL will have a minority share of this new entity, that in all likelihood, ESPN has already made it very clear that they want an ownership piece. And in all likelihood, what's going to happen to keep a level playing field is you're going to see that Fox, CBS, NBC, all of the media partners will have an opportunity to have a minority share. I don't think they will all buy in, frankly, because I don't think many people want to do business the way ESPN does, because many people don't have the money that ESPN has. And I think that's a big differentiator. But make no mistake about it, this new entity is Super League, new entity, call it what you want. It is going to take college football out from underneath the management of the NCAA. It's going to put it into a new business model. I think it is going to be mirrored off the NFL. And I know that people in college football hate me for saying that. And I understand it, but it is what it is. Describe it any way you want. You are going to have 40% of the teams in this new entity make the postseason. As simple as that. And if you want to get really detailed, I told you I had a conversation with a guy last week and confirmed it through an athletic director that the idea is very plain and simple. Did you win enough games to make the postseason? You're in. Did you not win enough games to make the postseason? You're out. That's what this whole, hey, we need strength of schedule. People are tired of that. And so this idea that the ACC and the Big 12 are going to disappear, nonsense. You're not getting there. And the new entity, Super League, whatever, hey, maybe that kicks off around 2030, I guess. But I don't believe, unless something dramatic happens and things change, there's no avenue in college football to eliminate the Big 12 and the ACC. That just does not exist. And is it true that Utah would like to be in the Big 10? No, I don't think that's true. Would they rather be in the Big 10 to the Big 12? I think they'd rather have Big 10 money. But as people at Utah have consistently told me, the competition in the Big 10 is at a lower level than it is in the Big 12 or the SEC. And I completely agree with that. I think until Oregon, USC, and Michigan get their heads out of their ass, this is a 2 or 3 team league at most. At most. And I know, again, most of you disagree with me on that, right? Indiana is not a serious contender. Until they prove they can go on the road and win big games, they're not a serious contender. When Indiana decides to open with Texas or Alabama, that's when you'll know they're a serious contender. And I think that point's very well taken. Does Utah hate the Big 12? In no way, shape, or form is that the case. I've asked multiple people, independent of each other, in that ecosystem, and all of them have said no. The Big 12's a great partner. So I don't mean to keep, I'm just fed up with it, man.
Yeah. I mean, I understand the burnout. You know, I think that the thing that stands out to me is I just think it's an uneducated take to say that these teams are going to be competing to go to different conferences when everybody and their mom knows that a new entity is coming and college football is going to get completely reorganized in a way that just like you said, I mean, takes the human being out of it and is just determined by how many games you're going to win. So again, you know, I'm not trying to put Brett down or anybody else down, but this is the ultimate, you know, if you want to call it clickbait material or whatever, like this is the ultimate, hey, we don't have a lot to talk about on a Wednesday, you know, and we need something. So we're going to go on a podcast and we're going to say, oh, well, UNC and UVA and, you know, Utah and these folks in the Big 12 are looking at other conferences. Okay, bro, like if that's your take, that's great. But then, you know, why end the take with speculate recklessly or whatever he said? Like the guy is out here just spitballing and throwing stuff against the wall. And again, I understand, dude, as someone who does a show, it's hard to have content every day. It's not easy to do. It's incredibly difficult to do. And so you go down 3 and you start writing stories and then And then you want to go on the podcast with Andy Staples and all those guys. And it's like, all right, Brett's got to say something here. What's he going to say? And it's like, okay, cool. Speculate. Great. But I don't understand, if you're an official at a school or if you're someone that's on that side of the conversation, why you even care about this. Because the reality is that sure, does it publicly, put Utah in an interesting position? I guess with anyone who matters, not really, because they're all laughing at you.
Yeah,
they're all laughing at guys like Brett and whoever are going with this. So I understand the frustration from school officials that this seems to be the only thing anyone wants to talk about. Totally get that part of it, but eventually the narrative will graduate to, okay, conferences in college football just don't matter anymore. And this thing is just going to get a complete revamp. And if that's, if that's in 28 or if that's in 30, I don't know, but it's going to happen. It needs to happen. It's necessary for it to happen. And that's why I just say, like, dude, like all this stuff we're about to talk about with the Pac-12, like, do you really think anyone gives a damn about how much money you guys spend on lawyers? You're just shooting yourself in the foot, dude.
Right.
Like you guys are the ones that are way behind and not in the conversation for the new entity, and you guys are the ones that are holding back the group of 6, which should be the group of 5. Like, that's all on you guys. So that's why I say, like, in the bigger picture, let's stop beating around the bush. Like, we got the power players being frustrated that Brett McMurphy's talking about, schools switching conferences. And then you've got the Pac-12 group of people in college football and the Mountain West group of people being frustrated that they're constantly in litigation and they can't seem to figure it out. To which I say, none of that matters, because you're all going to a new system anyway. So just settle, just be done and be done. Like, it's just that simple.
I think I just think the game changed when the Pac-12 melted down. I mean, it was one of the best football conferences in the country. And I think this goes back to Utah. Like, you look at Utah, there's this obsession with, do teams win on the field or not?
Mm-hmm.
I think very largely that is secondary. I think, for instance, if Utah going to the Big Ten, you have to be an AAU university. Like, you have to, if you look at the overwhelming majority of Association of American Universities, and you look at who is and who's not, I mean, Utah is an AAU institution. I've been telling you guys that for 3 or 4 years since the Pac-12 melted down. You guys always look at me cross-eyed and get pissed off when I say academics matter. Why do you think Florida State, and I just continue to go back to this, why do you think the Big Ten's not interested in Florida State? Do you think it's one of these things where, well, they're just assholes left and right, and they're not an AAU institution? Plain and simple. And if you look at the list of AAU universities, it's not difficult to understand. The Big Ten, and I've talked about this a lot, I'm a big believer that the Big Ten wants to be this conference that is coast to coast. Well, if that's the case, you have to have some territory in Florida. And I will continue to tell you that territory is South Florida with the University of Miami. And if their politics weren't so absolutely disgusting, my feeling is they would be a lot more attractive. But if we believe all this nonsense, why is nobody talking about Miami going to the Big Ten? Because I'm telling you, the Big Ten, if they go to 24 or 7,000, I don't care what number you want to throw out there, they want to be a coast-to-coast conference.
What's the only conference in college football that doesn't have a team in the state of Florida?
Well,
that's right, the Big Ten. That's right.
And I think it matters. And I think when you start looking at the Big Ten, Utah is one of the best candidates in the entire country to join the Big Ten. And the unfortunate part, in my opinion, is I think this is where you can talk about Utah hanging on just a little bit too long in the old Pac-12. because I have heard repeatedly that the Big Ten would have been thrilled to take Utah instead of Washington. But you start looking at the politics in that moment, and we openly talked about this on the show. Utah was going to stay in the Big 12, or was going to stay in the Pac-12 and leave for the Big 12 at the very last possible moment.
Mm-hmm.
And the Big Ten had their deals done. And this is not new. I have said this previously. The Big Ten wanted to add Utah, and Utah was not at a place where they felt comfortable leaving the Pac-12. They knew they had the invite from the Big 12. BYU would kind of grease those skids. There's a relationship in place. They've talked. They're talking. They'll continue to talk.
Yeah.
It's how business is done. And I just will continue to tell you, anybody who doesn't understand the importance of being an Association of American Universities, AAU, to the Big Ten, that right there should disqualify you from having an opinion on this conversation.
Couldn't agree more, dude.
Because if you're talking about Utah going to the SEC, which I heard today, I haven't heard anybody say that. And I'm not saying Brett McMurphy said that, but Utah's not going to the SEC. Why would Utah be attractive to the SEC or the SEC attractive to Utah? That just makes no sense. The ridiculousness is over the top.
Why would the SEC expand out of the region it's in, geographically speaking? They have a massive travel advantage over every other conference. They're not going to the Mountain Time Zone. They're not going to the Pacific Time Zone.
Yeah. They're
going to go to the Central Time Zone, and they're going to stay in the Eastern Time Zone. It's not hard to understand. Like, this is not rocket science. And this is why I say, like, the frustration, I understand the frustration, right? If I was a school official, I'd be frustrated, like I said, with the concept that this is all people want to speculate about when Texas and Ohio State is on the slate, or when anything else happening in college football is happening. But at some point, you know, the fans of college football, the pundits of college football have to get on board with the idea that this is not like the things, this whole conference realignment concept. We're so thirsty for it in the media, and we just have to get comfortable with the idea that I'm not confident that there will be any more realignment in college football until a new entity happens. And I wouldn't even categorize that as realignment. I think that is just a full reset of the system in college football so that everyone else can be in a better situation. So, you know, again, with all due respect to Brett, like, we can sit here and talk about UNC, but the reality is they're not looking to switch conferences. They're looking to get into a more advantageous position in the new entity. And hell, maybe one day we'll get, you know, UNC playing Texas or some wild ass matchup, you know, that we're not accustomed to. But I just think that the outrage over this, the drama over this is crazy. I mean, people just want to take it so far, and it's like, this is one guy's opinion, and I'm not saying he's wrong constantly, but there's a lot of, I do feel like Brett does, in my opinion, trend more towards the, hey, let's come up with something to talk about. I am reporting stuff, and there are a lot of times where he's accurate, but there are also a lot of times where he says stuff like this, where it's like, dude, what are you talking about, man? Like, what are we doing?
And I understand the vitriol and the frustration with the AAU thing. Like, I see, you know, I hear this all the time. King of Thailand, ACC AAU schools: Pitt, Virginia, Miami, UNC, Syracuse, Duke, Stanford, Cal. And I would also remind you, K-State Scott says FSU is ranked a lot higher than Miami on U.S. News ranking of top universities, right? But again, and I think this is an important distinction. If you go back to being an AAU university, and I'm also pretty sure that Miami and I think Florida State are both R1 research institutions, but what the difference is it's dollars. It is research money. And right now, and again, I don't even know if Wasikowski's here or not. But when you turn off the Department of Education and you stop funding universities, things like being an AAU member make a massive difference, because you have AAU members that pay into a pot to fund research, and that money is shared. So when Utah and Miami are partners in AAU, and I believe both are R1 research institutions, and excuse me, I should look that up before I say that. I know Utah is, and I'm almost certain Miami is. They're in business together. They can have different conversations because real money's not made in college athletics. College athletics helps enrollment, which makes real money. Because as much as the layman doesn't care, academia is what pays the bills.
Miami is R1, just to confirm.
Thank you. And I think Florida State is too, but that AAU certification is a big, big deal. They talk about, I think their mission statement is transforming lives through education, research, and innovation. I'm pretty certain that's the tagline at the AA, or something like that. They're transforming lives essentially through research and science. And that's called money. And especially when the Department of Education is no longer a thing in this country and funding has been dramatically cut to pay down national debt, that's why this stuff matters. And so when you guys are on me about, well, why would anybody want to stay in the Pac-12? Fuck them. Well, because look at the universities that used to make up the Pac-12. USC, UCLA, Oregon, Washington State, Oregon State, Utah. You look at the Arizona schools. Why do the Arizona schools want to stay in business together? Well, because the Department of Education disappeared and so did all that money, and they know when they're in business together, they're more solid. Why do you think we're paying Calimony? Why do we have UCLA paying Cal Berkeley money? Because of stuff exactly like this. So when you can fall back on your brothers and say, hey, we're in business together, let's contribute a little more. Everybody put $5 more into the pot to make us all more money. They're going to do that. And that's why it matters. And I'm not at all in this comment here disparaging Florida State as an institution of education, because it's great. But it's not AAU, and that matters. Wasikowski, there you are. That's why Miami is a great fit for the Big Ten. I think it's a great fit for the Big Ten.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like this conversation about what schools would be good for what universities is fine, but I just don't think it's that relevant right now. Like, honestly, like, are you really telling me that Miami is going to leave the ACC and go to the Big Ten before a new entity is formed? I mean, you want to talk about timelines? The new entity should for sure be here inside of the next 5 years. I mean, I can't imagine. You can't tell me it takes 5 years to put this thing together when they've been working on it for 2 already. Like I would be surprised if we weren't in new entity mode by like 28 or 29, honestly. Like, that's my opinion, but with how we know things work and how aggressive Greg Sankey is going after that, I would be a little surprised if it got to 2030. And that's why I say, like, I look at this and yeah, sure, Miami, I agree, is for once, Wasikowski, you say something with some logic behind it. Miami would be a good fit in the Big Ten, but
take it easy.
But I don't think that's the question of the day. I don't think it is. The question of the day is, does a school like Miami thrive in a new entity situation? Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. What schools would do well playing in that type of a setup? How long until Stanford or schools like Stanford, actually start pouring money back into their football program to start winning ball games and making money on it? Because you don't just put Andrew Luck at the helm and then not give the guy money, and run it that way. Eventually, you're going to have to start winning games. So,
yeah, Miami versus Nebraska. Nebraska, I think, is another R1 research institution. Miami, USC, fantastic. Miami, Notre Dame, fantastic. Right? That means no SEC after dark. The SEC should pick up Hawaii. Right. They already have UCLA and USC and Oregon and Washington in the Big Ten. I'm going to say that there's not any SEC after dark possibilities. Can you imagine Alabama having traveled to Oahu every other year?
Nope.
Don't think so. Two Pants, a new entity, use the correct verbiage, the Big 69. I don't even know what it would be. I mean, if you think about, I was talking to a guy about this today. If there's 67 P4 universities plus Notre Dame, which would be 68. I mean, if you do the math on that, what is that? 46 teams that make the college football playoff or a playoff system. The numbers make too much sense. The money makes too much sense. You look at the private money, the waterfall of cash, like when there's this much money to be made, you do it.
Said it.
Cal Stanford to the SEC for SEC After Dark. Okay. There you go. King of Thailand, KU endowment, half of Pitt's endowment. Well, there you go. Are you advocating for Pitt to the Big Ten? Florida State was women's teachers college. Okay. Scott says, did Nebraska lose their AAU status? I would have to look it up. I don't think so. I used to know. Let me look it up and see. God dadgummit. I used to know right off the top, right off the gate. Did they? I know there are one, and they may well have. Yeah, I think that they're not on the AAU website. That's what kind of life I live. I have the AAU our-member website bookmarked.
Oh man.
You're not wrong. Let me see. Are they? Wouldn't they be under university? They're University of Nebraska. No, I don't see them there. They'd be between Missouri and North Carolina. Interesting. Maybe you are correct. Yeah, it does not look like, unless they're in Canada. Are they? Is Lincoln, Nebraska in Canada?
Not. No, they're not.
I don't believe they are.
They are not AAU accredited currently.
But again, a lot of people, because Notre Dame, we just got AAU, I think in 2021, relatively new AAU membership, or maybe it was 23. So I don't know. Listen.
Nebraska, interestingly enough, lost their accreditation in 2011, but the story with them lately has been that they were trying to get back in and just hadn't been able to yet.
It's very difficult to get back in. They were trying to get back. Yeah. I can, and I actually, back in the day when the Pac-12 was melting down, one of the Utah conversations I had is about how difficult it is to get in. The AAU essentially is made up of universities that pull in prolific amounts of federal funding. That's what they are. I can look for you. They essentially do public health. You pull in a lot of money to do research that improves the lives of people in this country. That's their whole thing. At AAU schools, research is 2 or 3 or 5 times bigger than the athletic department budget. It's astronomical. FSU is not, but USF is an AAU school. Okay. But since when does college have to do with academia? Everyone knows college has everything to do with scarfing glizzies and enjoying a cold beer and smashing.
Macaque.
Smashing. Are Cougar Tails AAU? Well, some of them tell me they are. TJ Thomas Jarenicki Beckwith.
Yeah.
University of Miami has hospitals as part of the University of Miami health system, UHealth. They do have a ton of money flowing in that place. R1 plus a hospital. Wow. Yeah. Big dollars. Oh boy. Big Daddy magic.
Oh God. Here. Let me guess. I'm not even looking at the screen right now. And let me guess, you found a way to work Victor into the comment today.
If Utah leaves, they have to take BYU with them. The rivalry means too much for the great people of Jeddah. I don't disagree with that. They're not taking anybody with them. That's just me. King of Thailand. Academia has always run college football. SEC now forced the big dogs to get off their asses and make college football a priority. Some of it, yeah. No doubt about that. Stanford has to make an AD change to start and fix that place. Dude, they have a massive endowment. Like the money that Stanford has, I don't even know. Maybe Gumby or
they got that bread.
Calford's probably not here, but Nebraska is no longer AU. Had it when added to the Big Ten, but lost it shortly thereafter. There you go. Notre Dame just needs to get over themselves. Why would they get over themselves? And complete the trifecta with Boston College in the Big Ten or Georgia Tech. I just don't know why we would. Again, I'm actually open to this conversation. Why would Notre Dame join the Big Ten? And I will just beat this drum for year after year after year. There's no reason. They're making more money as an independent than they would make in the Big Ten. They have access to the national championship. Everybody wants to schedule them. Everybody wants to go there and have them come to their place. They have their own independent TV deal. Their marketing dollars are massive.
Huge.
We admittedly, and I don't, Jake, have you ever been to a Notre Dame game?
No.
Fuck. But as an Oregon fan, you moved to Eugene to go to Oregon games.
That was
you won't
the only
go to
reason.
Notre Dame games.
The only reason I went to Eugene is so I could go to Autzen and, what did Buddy say? Slurp glizzies.
But won't go to Notre Dame games. What am I supposed to do with you? I mean, it's absolutely outrageous.
Won't is probably strong, dude. I mean, won't is like saying UNC is going to the Big Ten, which isn't going to happen anytime soon. That's a little strong.
Yeah, I think there's just no, honest to God, if anybody wants to try and guess, dude, if anybody wants to try and guess,
stay hard.
There is, tell me why Notre Dame should get over themselves. Like what? I don't even know what that means. Why would you give some of your money to a bunch of other people if you don't have to?
Sometimes I think I just say shit, sample what comes out of my mouth.
Right? Like here we are on I Told You So Wednesday, because we're going to talk about the Pac-12 in a minute. And again, I'm just asking, what is the lever that somebody could pull? What is the switch you could flip that'd be like, yeah, we better get in a conference? It's scheduling. But if you're in the Big Ten, if Notre Dame joins the Big Ten, do you know how much damage that does to the SEC? Because you're not, certainly if you're Notre Dame, gonna schedule the SEC when you're in the Big Ten. Why would you?
You wouldn't.
That makes no sense. And you look at future schedules, and I say to myself, okay, 2025 we're set in stone. They've got Miami ACC, Texas A&M SEC, Purdue Big Ten, Arkansas SEC, Boise State Mountain 12,
Mountain 12,
NC State, USC. Like, okay, 2026, Wisconsin at Lambeau Field.
Hey, Lambeau.
Any good? A game I'm trying to go to. Rice, Michigan State, Purdue, North Carolina. Navy,
that new Big Ten team?
Navy, USC, Miami, Florida, SMU.
It's got Dallas on their shirt. Don't you forget it.
Florida State and Syracuse. Okay. 2027. Purdue, Michigan State, Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, Virginia Tech, Clemson, Navy, Duke. Okay.
Why would you not want to keep playing that schedule, bro?
2028. Well, Monty, they can't schedule. Texas and Arkansas right out of the gate. Purdue, Virginia Tech, Clemson, Navy, BC, Miami, and at Pitt. Okay, well, but 2029, you're screwed. Alabama, USF, Texas, NC State, Georgia Tech, Florida State, Wake, Navy, Syracuse, Clemson. Oh, but 2030 when college football will no longer exist. Indiana, Alabama, Louisville, Duke, Florida State, Carolina, Clemson, Boston College, Navy. Do you guys want me to keep going? Because we got this shit all the way locked out to 2038.
Even though I know college football is ending in 2030, according to Brett McMurphy. So,
So again, and I'm not trying to be a red ass. Why would Notre Dame join a conference? They're making more money than the guys in the Big Ten make. They have the same opportunity. Their stick and ball sports are great in the ACC. Now, you want to argue that their stick and ball sports should join the Big Ten? They tried. The Big Ten said no. Okay, cool. Right? Like, to me, I just think you have to find a way. Well, there you go, Craig. Notre Dame hockey finished in last place in the Big Ten.
Stay home.
Now we're done. That's it. It's over. It's over. Write it down. Write it down. Notre Dame has to join the Big Ten because hockey had a bad year. I just don't see it. There's no reason for it.
you can't come up with a legitimate reason.
And listen, if you want to talk about the Chicago Cubs joining the Big Ten, and then maybe we can go to the playoffs every year. Okay, I'm bitter. But honest to goodness, I'm on the list to get Notre Dame season tickets. I will sell.
You don't automatically get renewal
for what?
For season tickets on
for the Cubs?
Yeah.
You guys want to know what an idiot I am? I renewed my season tickets for 3 years last night. Right? I'm a Cubs season ticket holder.
Why don't they make moves at the deadline? They don't want to spend money. Hey guys, here's my money for season tickets.
Got a check for 5 G's last night. Well, an Amex charge.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. John Momola. Hello, my friend. Notre Dame will always make more money of history before you and I were. But dude, exactly right.
Yeah. John, as usual, good comment.
That's what I'm saying. And the thing that's hard for me as a Notre Dame fan living in Salt Lake City at the moment, I would love to be a season ticket holder in South Bend. I travel. If my wife wasn't such a baller at work, I'd be going to Notre Dame road games for sure. Like you think I wouldn't love to see them take on Miami?
What's their closest road game to Salt Lake right now? Do they even come this way very much? Or are they staying the East Coast?
Not at all this year because SC's at the stadium this year.
Oh, right.
But usually like next year when they're at SC, I guarantee you, and I do not care. I will lock my wife in a suitcase and throw her in the cargo hold. She's going to LA to see USC and Notre Dame. Probably not couth in these times.
Doesn't get any more red, white, and blue than that.
But anyway, I'm open to the conversation. I know we battle over this on a regular basis about Notre Dame joining the Big Ten, and Ross and everybody else wants Notre Dame to join the Big Ten. But I just don't see the lever that you could pull to make them do that.
Yeah.
Right. Wasikowski, what happened when Big Ten swallows up all of Notre Dame's rivals?
Well, swallowing things up is a real problem. So, I'm sure it'll happen.
Stop talking about.
I'm
your
sure
mom
it'll
on the
happen,
show.
dude.
Stop bringing up your mom on the show, Jake. Anyway, the point is, I wait for that to happen. There's no evidence that Notre Dame's biggest rivals. I just read you a schedule that's got every SEC team on it, every ACC team on it. Like they've got
untrained eye.
They've got most of the Big Ten on that schedule at one point or another. Like I just don't see that happening. I would love to see Notre Dame get back to playing Michigan again. Notre Dame choice number 1, football Indy, ACC for other teams. Notre Dame choice number 2, football Indy, Big East for other teams. I just don't think the Big East is. Notre Dame basketball is just so bad. And again, as a suffering Chicago sports fan, I don't have nice things. I watched the Cubs lose to a pitcher they probably should have traded for last night. Stop. Justin Verlander had not won a game at Oracle Park for the Giants. Cubs showed up, Verlander wins. It's just what we do.
Did you see the McGill news today for the Brewers, though?
Yes.
Done for the year?
Trevor McGill out for the year, which is huge. And Jake's high school teammate, Trevor McGill, out for the year. And unfortunately, you're in a situation now where you're the Brewers have to battle. But anyway, here nor there. as a Chicago fan, I don't have nice things. We're going to build a stadium for the Bears literally on a pile of horse crap that's not on the lakefront. The Hawks were coming back at some point. At least I have Connor Bedard. I can't watch the Bulls because, well, who wants to? And at some point, you know what's going to get really bad? The White Sox will start winning games again, and then the show will be over. One day it'll be like, oh, the White Sox won again, going to the playoffs.
What,
all right,
man?
right? Like, show's over. Monty's camera, dude. Monty's camera's broken.
Technical difficulties. Can't come to the show today.
That's where it ends. Rock says, put the Wolves in the Big Ten. Hey,
Wolves?
The Wolves. Yeah, I think if the Big Ten, and to surmise, if you guys are just tuning in, let's kind of reset what we're talking about, because I see a bunch of you online hopping on the show. We're talking about this Brett McMurphy report, and let me play the bite for you. And I promise you in 8 minutes, we're going to get to the Pac-12 TV deal because we have great information on that. On Three's Brett McMurphy says, the ACC is melting down by 2030, and the Big Ten is going to be 24 teams. And I'm just telling you guys, at some point, we've got to stop overreacting to this stuff that, frankly, I don't think it's 5 years in college sports is a lifetime. I mean, it's dog years, quite literally. So what Brett McMurphy says right here on 3, I'm not going to say it's irrelevant, but how much weight does it really carry?
You guys are surprised he didn't say 24, because I think that kind of what Andy laid out. I think we're going to be 20 or 24 with the SEC and the Big Ten. The question is, what is going on with the Big 12 and the ACC, and are they going to be allowed to be part of that group? I think it's very clear. Andy, you want to speculate recklessly about who it'll be? Look, after I reported that this morning, I immediately got a text from someone within the SEC and basically said what I've been thinking, and that is North Carolina and Virginia will be highly contested between both conferences. And where they end up, look, no one knows. It's impossible to say. But I do really believe that they are the most attractive to both leagues. And we'll have to see what happens. Again, 5 years is a long way off. 2 years is, light years way off. But speculate recklessly.
And I didn't even notice on that graphic, thanks to On3 on YouTube, I didn't even notice on that graphic. Did you see that graphic said Notre Dame won't budge on independence? I mean, I'm just, not for nothing. But my point is, I think a lot of this is wild speculation. I've reported on the show months and months ago that North Carolina, if they're going to leave the ACC, they're not going to the SEC. They want to go to the Big Ten. I think as part of that, Duke and North Carolina are much more tied than North Carolina and North Carolina State. And I think that the real question is, when we get to 2030, does college football look like it looks right now? And I am here to tell you no, because I have talked to TV executives, athletic directors, football coaches across this country who have said, we're going to an NFL model. We are going to a new entity to get away from these lawsuits, to get away from whatever the NCAA tries to do with football, because it never works. See the Michigan penalties. And you're going to have a whole new way of doing business. My guess is that's going to be a 68-team way of doing business. And I remain steadfast that the single biggest question is, will the group of 5 conferences, including the Pac-12, so technically 6, will they have access to the college football playoff? And repeatedly, I've been told that that's not a given. And I think that's going to be very interesting. I also think that Brett McMurphy talking about how he's being told by sources that the Big Ten will be at 20 to 24 teams by 2030. I just don't know how that makes sense. But if we're going to wildly speculate, as Brett McMurphy says he is, I would tell you that the first 2 teams, and apparently in the comment section, you're saying he said Utah. Well, we've been telling you that for how long? It's Utah and Miami. If the Big Ten is going to expand, it will be Utah and Miami, without question. So there's not going to be some huge battle between the SEC and the Big Ten. I think Miami, Duke, my guess is, and this is strictly a guess, Miami, Duke, North Carolina, and I think Louisville will be in the conversation as that fourth team because I think Louisville's a very valuable brand. But I also think Virginia, as I've said before, Virginia is a really good fit in the Big Ten.
Need that basketball program, Monty.
So, well, and they got to get their football team in line too, because it does require you to make money. But I just think when you start looking at the universities that are, that are fits in the Big Ten, I just don't think there's any doubt that those universities I mentioned are great fits. And I don't even doubt, like King of Thailand talking about Pitt. I don't even doubt that Pitt could be one of those teams if somehow Virginia winds up not going to the Big Ten. I don't think it's that much of a stretch that you would reach out to Pitt. That's an AAU university. That's a university that does a lot of great things in their community. Like their football program's pretty stout, but we'll see. That would make Big Ten basketball elite. It truly would.
Yep.
And again, I know that we talk about this all the time. Basketball is 20% of your TV deal, your media rights deal. And I think now you're seeing these tournament shares that stay with the conference are your life's blood now, because you're losing so much more revenue. Again, and I'm not trying to be political with the Department of Education funding going away. Every dollar matters, because you are absolutely kicking down to the university.
Unless you're the Pac-12 schools, apparently.
Yeah, no doubt about that. All right. I appreciate all your comments. I'm going to read two more, then we're going to get to the Pac-12. Oak State James replying to Toot. So let's read Toot first. James, share your culture. Iowa State and Oak State are not AAU schools like all Big Ten schools are, other than Nebraska. It's a plague on Oak State because they're not a respected institution of education. They're just not. Randomness, if that's what the Big Ten wanted Utah, they would have taken Utah. Utah was not available. And I know you probably just tuned in. I talked about this 20 minutes ago. As we were all over that story when the Pac-12 was melting down. Utah was going to wait and wait and wait as to the last millisecond to get out of the Pac-12. And it cost them a bid to the Big Ten. And there is nobody at Utah, and I've talked to all of them, who is upset or doesn't like being in business with or can't wait to get out of the Big 12. The Big 12 is a very good place for Utah to be. All right, last comment on this. Craig says Big Ten should kick out Nebraska and add Utah. I think Nebraska is one of those brands. Whether you want to call them a blue blood or not, I mean, that's a football program right there. That is a football program right there. All right, Prize Picks, the official daily fantasy partner of the Monty Show. Got another win on Prize Picks last night. This time 3 for 3. 20 to win 120. And again, there's never been a better time to open up a new Prize Picks account than there is right now. Dak Prescott, half a yard. That gets you a win on Prize Picks. Use the promo code Monty to open up a new Prize Picks account. You deposit $5. They'll give you 50 more in plays instantly. Prize Picks, America's favorite daily fantasy game. Download the app. Use the promo code Monty to open up a new Prize Picks account.
Yo, you think Dallas' Power 4 gonna drop 30 tomorrow?
Boy, you tripping.
Did you see his mom made a post about going to the game?
What? Hold up. His mama gonna be there?
He's been averaging like 34 points a game when she's there.
At least 40 when she be on that Jumbotron.
He don't like to let his mama down.
Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Cash in on your sports fandom with Prize Picks.
All right, let's get into the Pac-12 and the CW back in business. It's a story we've been reporting here on the Monty Show. Much to the chagrins of Pac-12 fans, we nailed it because, as you see in this release, the Pac-12 and the CW are back in business. Their agreement remains largely the same from an X's and O's standpoint. Obviously, you have much more details in a thoroughly vetted basketball agreement, as well as football. You get 13 regular season football games on the CW, in addition to the previously announced CBS Sports deal. 35 regular season men's basketball games on the C-Dub, 15 women's games on the C-Dub, postseason tournaments, all of this great stuff. And then you get into the truth. Somebody tell me what's missing from this graphic right here. I don't know, the dollars and cents of the deal, how the money works out, who's paying for what. Because again, as I've told you for over a year, dating back to the last time we got a CW deal, the Pac-12 produces their own games for the CW. The Pac-12 not only produces those games, they foot the bill for those games. That is an expense out of pocket that directly comes off the bottom line of these media rights deals. And it is significant because when you think about the cost of producing a game, yes, it is in fact true. The Pac-12 has state-of-the-art studios now in San Ramon, California. Yes, they have all of their own equipment. They have their own TV trucks, cameras, mixers, all that stuff. You've got to pay for the human cost. You have got to continue to keep that equipment up to date and state of the art. You have got to pay for the talent, things like producers, directors, parabolic mic guys, all of it. And we can sit here and we can sugarcoat this deal. There is no doubt that after talking to people directly involved in this situation, there is disappointment in the Pac-12 about being back on the CW. And a couple of other notes that I can tell you exclusively, and this is something I've told you repeatedly. ESPN was never in a position where they wanted the full carriage of Pac-12 media rights. The great radio wizard of the Northwest, I believe at one point was reporting that ESPN and the Pac-12 were about to make a media rights deal. That never happened. There have been discussions, and they are ongoing, for the Pac-12 to have some of their third-tier games that will not be on CBS or the CW, carried on ESPN's direct-to-consumer platform. Those conversations are ongoing. A lot of them focus around women's basketball, men's basketball, stick and ball sports, as well as their track and field championships, I know have been talked about there. But at no point was ESPN in the position, or were conversations centered around ESPN taking a full media rights deal with the Pac-12. That simply just was erroneous reporting, as I've been telling you for months. What the Pac-12 is finding out is that when you do business as you've always done business, which is asking an exorbitant amount, well over market value for your media rights, Jake, that's a hard no from most TV partners.
Yeah, and I think that, we've been pretty steadfast on this, and I got to say, like, this is hardly surprising. I'm not sitting here like, oh my God, man, they're not listing the financials of the deal. Why not? Well, we know why not, because it's not a great deal financially. It's a deal that was available to them, and so they took it. There isn't all this nonsense, all this ploy, all this, sugarcoating of, oh man, we've got all these deals, and our great TV deals are we're going to have a great TV deal, and then we'll be on to winning the world. Like, that's all just stick. It's all just fluff. And at some point, this conference is going to learn a really difficult lesson, and the leadership in this conference is going to learn a difficult lesson, which is, if you're going to treat people poorly, and you're going to try to wreck conferences, and you're going to try to sue everybody for everything that they have, even though you don't have a case to sue them with, and you're still doing it, you're not going to be an attractive partner in many areas of your business. And again, it's important to remember that media rights is just one area of a college football conference's business, if you will. And it just happens to be one of the more important ones given the situation that they're in. So the idea that you're announcing this amazing TV deal and you're not sitting here saying, yeah, every school is getting $8 million a year, or whatever the number would be, is absolutely ludicrous to me.
Yeah.
How are you not sitting here saying, like, hey, this is a really solid TV deal. We're getting $6 million a year. Whatever the number is, why am I not getting another Teresa Gould interview? Why am I not hearing from JD Wicker? Why am I not, like, where is everybody? Well, that's right. There's not a lot of great talking points right now. That's the issue. Hear from anyone.
And I can tell you, I had some difficult conversations about this over the last week because, we've been hearing rumblings that the Pac-12 was not able to deliver their promise. And I'm going to play this bite from Teresa Gould here in a minute about transformational partnerships from the winter. But one of the things I think is so interesting about this graphic right here, and I can never get the finger pointing right, there is real disappointment inside of the Pac-12 from its newest members. And I think that the better word is, instead of disappointment, it feels to me like frustration, because there was an expectation that they would have a multi-platform deal where they would have a deal that put them on screens across the country. And I think one of the things that's so interesting is some of the verbiage in this announcement today. The CW Network and the Pac-12 Conference today jointly announced an extension of their partnership. An extension of their partnership, which began in 2024. So this is just continuing the deal that was in place, right? But you've expanded it a little bit. The new Pac-12 launches in 26-27, right? Okay. And it says, the line above that, the extended partnership will further the league's transformational beginnings. That's a very interesting line, because let's go back to Teresa Gould with Front Office Sports over the winter. Listen to how she describes what they're looking for in a TV deal, and ask yourself, is this deal they announced with the CW, is this the one she's talking about right here?
You know, the one thing I keep saying to potential partners is, given where we are as a league, I don't want these partnerships to be transactional partnerships. I don't want this to be a media rights partner writing us a check and televising a bunch of games. We need these partnerships to be transformational at this point, and for somebody to really jump in with us and say, we want to help elevate and reimagine the new Pac-12.
Now, I'm going to say that's a no. And when we talk about what transformational TV deals look like, this is ESPN's deal with the Big 12. This is Fox, CBS's deal with the Big 10. Big 10 Saturday night on NBC. This is NBC's deal with Notre Dame. And when I say that and why that matters, and I know Pac-12 fans are already crapping themselves in anger that I hate the Pac-12. Okay. But is there anybody who believes that the CW can call on behalf of Boise State and say, hey, Alabama, we're going to need you to play Boise State in 2027 to kick off the new Pac-12 season. We're going to send a contract over. No, I don't think that's happening. I don't think it's happening where you can have ESPN calling on behalf of BYU all those years in independence and telling the Pac-12, hey, let's make a deal between the Pac-12 and BYU. Let's put you guys in business together and have a mutually beneficial deal. That's not happening. And I'll continue to tell you this about people like, I don't know, Gloria Navarez. So she finds out that her conference is being raided. Hasn't even gone public yet. What did she do? What was the first thing she did? Called her TV partners. And what are we finding out now? Well, what have we reported exclusively on this show? CBS will be part of the Mountain West's new TV deal. They're in conversations that are deep down the road with ESPN's new direct-to-consumer platform, right? Like they're doing a deal based on the relationships they have in place already.
That they cultivated and took care of.
The Pac-12 can't do that because they don't have relationships. So you're stuck in a situation with a regional TV network like the CW, and it's great in their footprint because in the footprint of the CW, you do have all the Pac-12 schools, but by no definition is this transformative. It's damaging. It is disappointing and frustrating. And I think at some point, this also, I am told, is not the end of their deal. There will be other pieces to the Pac-12 media rights deal. But at some point, you are going to need to tell people how much money you are making. Because if you don't tell people what your TV deal is, and we don't find out until the public disclosures from your member institutions in what would be the summer of 2027, that's going to be a very bad way of doing business because that number is not going to be impressive. And you need to get out in front of that. And I don't know by which guess or guesstimate you can even fathom here. There's no way this is a $15 million per year per school deal. That's just because that's what we've been hearing. Oh, first it was 8, then it was 10, now it's 15. If this is $6 million in total with the CW and CBS, I would be thrilled. Let me run through the fields jumping over tulips in celebration, because if this deal is $6 million, I think that's a gift. Because this is a small deal, as was their deal with CBS, which again didn't have any firm commitments financially, as is this deal with the CW, which has 0 commitments financially. At some point, Jake, I think they got to put a number on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you know, this idea of you know, people early on in the process speculating, you know, 10 to 15 million a year, and then humbling themselves and coming back down to like 8 to 10 a year. You know, it's what we do in sports, right? We always want to get ahead of it. We always want to be first, and then I also think, you know, to add on to that, the conversation around like the actual, you know, the concept of, okay, well, hey, CW, because all the Pac-12 homers are like, oh, well, CW is a national thing, and so is CBS, and what do you mean it's regional? Do you not understand that, you know, when you do a deal with the CW affiliates somewhere in the Eastern time zone has no interest in showing a Pac-12 game, because that is literally of no relevance to their viewer. So you're not just saying, oh, hey, we're doing a deal with CW and they're just going to put us on every single station nationally. Number one, do you know how much that would cost? Just number one, do you know how much you'd have to pay for that? Just generally speaking, number one. But then number two, do you understand the type of agreement that you would have to create with the CW to get them to agree to showing irrelevant, you know, content to their audiences that are out of market? Nobody gives a damn about, like, it's nobody not good for a TV partner.
Nobody in Florida wants to watch Washington State, Boise State play football. No, I am telling you that if you're the CW and this is a national deal, the money you will have to kick down to your affiliates, out of market affiliates. And I would imagine anybody west of the Rockies would be thrilled with Pac-12 football on a Saturday afternoon. I would imagine in February when it's Pac-12, you know, basketball season, I think if you can get Gonzaga on the CW in pretty much any market, even west of the Mississippi, I think you'd be thrilled with that. But again, do you think anybody in the Northeast or in the Southeast wants to watch Gonzaga, Fresno State play basketball? I'm going to tell you the answer is no. And that's going to be very difficult. Those affiliates, and we saw this with Live Golf on the CW. Remember what happened with Live Golf? They turned it off for Little House on the Prairie. I'm not even exaggerating. You had CW affiliates turning off mid-round on a Saturday. The final round at Live Golf is Saturday, I think, right? Or whatever their final round is. They're turning off halfway through the final round to put on reruns of Little House on the Prairie. What do you think they will do to Fresno State football in Florida, North Carolina, Mississippi, Alabama? And not to mention, if that's on a Saturday, and let's say that game kicks off at 1:30 Pacific, that's 4:30 Eastern. You're in the middle of a primetime SEC window going into the late window in the SEC. Nobody's going to watch that game.
Yeah, and let's say, you know, and that would be the point too. Like, let's say that they were, you know, just going hard on the East Coast and out of market, just showing these games, and they weren't getting viewership. Do you think that's good for the Pac-12? Do you think that you know, that the Pac-12 wants to go through that? No, probably not. Like the idea of the deal is, hey, you know, in market, yeah, they're going to show Pac-12 games a lot. That's part of the deal. But I think the bigger crime in this deal, and like you said, they're going to add other pieces to it. I'm sure there will be a streaming component. I'm sure that there will be, you know, a CBS component at some point, obviously. But I look at this and I say, no matter where you come down on this, no matter what fight you want to have about the Pac-12 today, The reality of the situation is you're not boasting about the money you're making in this deal because you're not making money. And that's what you can't get away from. And to take it one step further, if you're not making money in your TV deal, like if you're not to say there's not revenue, but if you're not profitable in that TV deal for your member institutions, you're never getting out of the hole you're digging yourself with the legal stuff and with all this stuff that you've done.
And you look at what Nexstar Media said about, I want to say Nexstar put out a press release at some point talking about how the highest rated game on the CW last year was Washington State, Oregon State in Corvallis.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, their saturation was 30% of CW affiliates last year. So they had a regional deal last year, which I think is the exact right thing for the Pac-12. The Pac-12, and I know the Pac-12 wants to be a power conference again. There is no financial benefit for the Pac-12 being in anywhere, in my opinion, east of the Rockies. That just does not make any sense. If you're Nebraska, dude in Nebraska is not going to watch Pac-12 football. And obviously with Colorado State, you look at, okay, I get that. But if you've got a Boise State football game anywhere in the CW footprint west of the Rockies, people are going to watch that. People are going to watch that. If you've got a San Diego State football game against Boise State, San Diego State, up and down the West Coast, that is an attractive football game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not attractive to people in Chicago, New York. It is not attractive in Pennsylvania, the Southeast. And that's why last year I thought, and I said, and I know it's crazy, because Monty doesn't say nice things about the Pac-12 apparently. It was a really smart deal. That 30% was very regionally placed, and it's exactly what the Pac-12 should have been doing. You don't need a national deal. There's a reason that ESPN television and people like Fox Sports are not picking up your entire package and guaranteeing you windows, because the viewership isn't there. And if you really look at what's not there, the dollars and cents for the affiliate viewer is not there. And if a CW affiliate who without question makes more money on reruns, good shows, whether it's Seinfeld, pick your 90s and 2000s TV show, your 80s TV show, they make more money on those reruns than they would ever make on an out-of-market West Coast, where East Coast folks, especially in the Northeast, are not big fans of anything West Coast, football game between Boise State and Fresno State.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad business. So my guess is we're going to see similar saturation rates that we saw last year. We'll see similar saturation rates this year. And I think when this new deal kicks off, I would hope that there is excitement around the kickoff of the new Pac-12, because it's going to be a really good football league, I think. And I would hope that west of the Rockies, it dominates in TV numbers, because I think that's what it will do. The west of the Rockies footprint with that kind of carriage is a very strong position and a very strong play for the Pac-12. It makes zero sense to be beaming that out all over the country, especially when you're trying to compete with larger brands. It makes no sense at all whatsoever. All right. Let's see who's first one in on this. Look at you guys going back and forth. Just saw YouTube TV and Fox reached a short-term deal, meaning Fox wants money and YouTube TV needs Fox because NFL and college football is about to start.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
It's very interesting how those deals can get done when you put enough pressure. And the noise that college football fans made, I think, made a difference. And these carriage disputes just generally don't get done until somebody feels a pain point. And I'm going to guess that YouTube TV and Fox felt a pain point somewhere. Oak State James, funny how that long press release has no information about money. And I'm hoping that it does at some point, because I think it's really, really important. It is really important for the Pac-12 to have a financial win. They need it. I'm not going to say desperately, let's not get crazy, but they really need an influx of cash quickly, because these lawsuits with the Mountain West are getting more and more expensive because you haven't settled them.
You
So
guys
you just
understand,
continue.
not to cut you off, sorry. You understand that the CW's also got ACC TV rights as well. You understand that, right?
Regional, yeah.
You understand that the ACC and the CW have a relationship. So I don't know, man. Maybe the Pac-12 in the Eastern time zone will just dominate and everything's perfect and sunshine and flowers. But man, dude, I don't know, bro. I just if you have like their first ACC game is SMU and Baylor, it would surprise me if SMU Baylor wasn't a better poll than Boise State and whoever, or hell, even a lesser game, right? Because Boise State's, like let's say it's San Jose State and San Diego State. Like, come on, dude. Let's be real.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I think this deal has very regional value. And, I was looking at the CW website, and I don't know here in Salt Lake City, I don't know how to watch the CW. Like, I'm sure I looked at Pittsburgh and it's like WPNT TV. I'm sure that if you have Comcast Pittsburgh, I think Comcast is a big cable provider. If you have Comcast in Pittsburgh, you can find the CW. But I don't think you're looking for the CW because Pac-12 football's on. Now, if you're looking at their other sports properties, let's not forget they have the NASCAR Xfinity Series. They have WWE on CW. They have ACC football. Next year, they'll have the full Pac-12. Like, it is you look at the ACC schedule. And again, this is why I say if you're a Pac-12 fan, what's the ACC schedule on the CW? Kennesaw State, Wake Forest. Right? And then it's Georgia Tech, Colorado in Boulder. Okay, that's not a bad game. But you're getting Duquesne and Pitt. Okay, it's a small game. You're going to have small viewership. But you get Syracuse and Tennessee. Okay, that's something that I think could absolutely bring people to the yard. And the reason that you're looking at those games is, well, that's on ABC, right? The Georgia Tech Colorado game is on ESPN. So if I go to like the CW, it's Baylor SMU on Saturday, September 6th. That's not a bad game. It's a regional game. That's a regional game, right? That is Waco versus Dallas. Okay, I understand why that's on the CW, right? But if I go down, the next game is September 13th. It's South Florida and Miami. 4:30 on that next Saturday. Was that the 13th? That's a decent game in South Florida where they have a huge affiliate. Okay, let's keep going. Like you keep looking at games and trying to figure out the big games. Like you get Wake Forest, Oregon State on October 11th. Is that a huge game where you're going to draw fans coast to coast? It doesn't feel like it. So you look at these big games that they're competing against. I just don't know how you expect to win if you're the Pac-12 in that light. That's what I really struggle with. King of Thailand, University of Pittsburgh is a high-ranked institution for medical research. Okay. That's cool. Thank you for that. Funny how long that press release was with no money. Correct. King of Thailand says, I love Gloria. Okay. Oh, look, Sweet Beans TV is here. Sweet Beans only shows up when we talk Pac-12.
Yeah, this ought to be rich.
And usually he either curses at me or tells me I'm a liar, which You're never able to tell me how I'm lying. What regional network? Last I checked, CBS and the CW are national broadcasters. The CW. Tell me you don't know a business of TV without telling me. The CW. And you should.
Bro, you make it so easy, dude.
You're
honestly.
wading into water that you clearly don't know what you're talking about. The CW is a network of affiliates. And to be national, they need all of their affiliates to pick up whatever programming to have full reach. The CW sells on saturation. And this was the issue. If they're such a great network and they're national, why did Live Golf leave the CW? Because the CW could not promise them full saturation, and the saturation, the markets where they were carried, would not guarantee them full carriage. And thus the story about, hey, we're putting on Little House on the Prairie at 3:00, no matter where you are in your golf tournament. Because that's who makes them money. So again, with all due respect, you're out of your depth here. CBS Sports Network is not a regional network. It is a cable network only. So we are just spewing misinformation. Bro, so now, and this is what I don't get about Pac-12 fans. You're crushing the Mountain West for their TV deal. They have a better TV deal than you do right now. And they're on CBS Sports Network. And now all of a sudden, CBS Sports Network is great and the Mountain West sucks. You can't have it both ways, man. I get it, Pac-12 fan. You're upset. This doesn't feel good. The truth is the truth. Those of us that have worked in TV for a very long time, those of us that have contacts in TV who can call people and say, hey, what does this deal really look like? Which, I don't know, I did today, and I talked to multiple TV executives about it. The single biggest question is how much saturation does the Pac-12 get out of the CW? And do you think I'm talking about Miami and Pittsburgh because I just pulled that off the top of my head? No, those are big CW markets. And if you go and do some research, I know, you don't use Google in the Pac-12. If you go and do some research.
The Bing conference.
Yeah, thank you. All of the CW affiliates and carriage are on Google. You don't have to go. I'll even show you CW affiliate list. And it comes right up on the CW network. Find your station. You can go to Wikipedia, CW affiliate list. Albany and Schenectady, New York ain't taken. Fresno State, San Diego State. I can tell you that right now. They're owned by Sinclair, right? You go and look. The CW does not own Albuquerque, Des Moines, Atlanta. Do you think Atlanta, WPCH TV, owned by Gray Media, do you think they're taking Washington State versus Colorado State football? I'm going to say they're not. And if you go up and down, the ones that you should pay attention to, Next Star Media, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Ask yourself on a Saturday afternoon, if you're in Baton Rouge, the home of LSU, do you think that CW affiliate, that CW station, do you think they want San Diego State and whoever, Oregon State football? Do you think they want that? They're not going to carry that. And if you think that all of these stations in Tuscaloosa, if you think the Quad Cities, Charlotte, you think Chicago, you think WGN TV on a Saturday afternoon in Big Ten country is taking the second, or even, I don't care, Boise State, San Diego State, do you think they're WGN TV in a Big Ten market is going to put that game up against anything that is on the Big Ten family of networks?
Nope.
Do you think Boise State, San Diego State football game is going to outrun or outdraw reruns of the Andy Griffith Show, reruns of any Seinfeld. 8 is enough. I'm trying to think of 80s TV shows.
Anything more relevant than a game that people don't care about on the West Coast.
And you take it so personally, man. It's business. What you don't understand is this is the business of television.
Yeah.
They make money. Trust me when I say Different Strokes makes WGN TV money. Chips reruns makes them. Murder, She Wrote. That these are all just... Do I get no credit for murder?
Yeah, I mean, this is all just off,
She Wrote?
dude. This is all just off the top of your dome because these are all the shows you watched back in the day that now the CW has.
Thank you for calling me old.
By the way,
they're going to take that game over Cheers?
Hey, Sweet Beans, you're talking to a guy that knows all the shows that are on the dub because he watched them back in the day. So
I'm old.
By the way, still waiting for your retort here. It's been 5 minutes we've been talking about you and no comment. What happened? Come on, dude.
I wish for Pac-12 fans that you wouldn't take everything so personally.
But they do.
That is. West Coast Gumby, I'm down to watch Three's Company. Bro. Okay, don't do this. Do not
we're going down the path now.
Do not fill up the comment section.
Hey, everybody, thanks Sweet Beans for sending us down this path, dude.
Marcus Welby MD was a hell of a show, bro.
Stay home.
Do you guys remember the Ferrari that they used on Magnum PI? What did we always, Jake? Do you remember when we were doing the morning show at the Maverick Center and we'd walk in and flipping Baywatch would be on every morning?
Yes.
All right, we got to turn off the Boise State football game for tan cleavage and David Hasselhoff. Come on. Cougs Johnson. Old Miss Wake Forest got 240,000 less views than Washington State, San Jose State last year. Yeah, I'm sure it did. I'm not even telling you. Regionally, I would expect if you put, again, Boise State, San Diego State, anywhere west of the Rockies, that's a big viewership. Big viewership. I look at you as a Washington State fan. Dude, you're delivering a good part of the Seattle market. You're getting Spokane. You're getting Seattle, Tacoma, Vancouver. Like you're getting a good part of the PNW with Washington State. You put on Washington State, Oregon State, you're delivering a vast majority of the Pacific Northwest and then some. That's a good football game people will watch.
Yes.
But I'm just going to continue to say, Pac-12 fan, you have to think logically. Okay. MASH. No, can't do it.
Okay, that's
Chris,
enough. Stop, please.
Watching the Knight Rider reruns after San Jose State, Colorado State. Exactly right. King of Queens. Thank you. Knight Rider or Airwolf? Oh, Knight Rider.
The Wolf.
Do you guys remember Airwolf?
The Wolf of Wall Street.
You know. Monty, who was the hottest sister on Anus?
Brother.
Oh my God. Such a good show. Such a good show. Cheers. I Love Lucy, Brady Bunch, Partridge Family. Oh my God. Danny, what's his name? Oh, the redhead. Lori was hot. I Dream of Jeannie. Oh, I've stroked a bottle to that. Joey Harper. It's just like the regional schedule in the NFL. But don't tell Pac-12 fans that because they lose their mind. A-Team. Oh, man, I loved Mr. T when I was a kid. Craig says, the real P. Forte. Three's Company filled a lot of socks to Chrissy. Wow.
Damn.
Filled a lot of socks?
Damn, bro.
Are you kidding me? Craig says WKRP and Maude. God, do you guys remember Maude? What was the show with, oh my God, the four old ladies that lived together? Oh my God, with Betty White.
Golden Girls?
Golden Girls. That's the show that Jake filled socks to. Yes,
I actually
sir.
never watched Golden Girls.
You're a liar. You watch your mouth. Three's Company, yes. Chips, Miami Vice, Dukes of Hazzard. Bo or Luke? Do you know how many General Lees they went through on that show? Oak State James, but that's why the Pac-12 needs to add either North Texas, Memphis, or Tulane.
Monty, if they add those schools, the ops building quality alone will make the people tune in on the CW. They can do a whole pregame thing on it. It'll be absolutely incredible. By the way, my electrodes are really doing well today. Thanks for asking, even though you didn't ask.
James, who has a rectal insertion of an electronic probe, it just helps keep him regular. You guys stop DMing me on TikTok.
Monty, here are all the affiliates of the CW in New Jersey and New York and New Hampshire and Rhode Island and just the one off in Georgia and stuff too. Here you go.
Chris on TikTok. Monty is an 80s TV aficionado. Poncherello on a motorcycle or Crockett in a Ferrari. Get out of here.
Yeah,
Crockett in a Ferrari.
Duh.
Poncherello. You notice those guys were never seriously hurt when they fell off their motorcycles? Jerks. John Baker always won. I loved Chips. Oh, dude. Emergency 70s or 80s TV? I think it might have been 70s. All in the Family, Archie Bunker style. Meathead, hell yeah. Yes, the facts of life. The facts of life. You take the good, you take the bad, and there you. I'm telling you, it just brings me home. Yeah, I should stop. Gilligan's Island, not a lot. Oh my God, Beverly Hillbillies.
I'm sorry. Did you just say Beverly Hillbillies?
Up from the ground came hillbillies. Yeah. Up from the ground came some bubbling crude oil. That is. Black Gold, Texas tea. How is it that I can't remember my name on most days, but you asked me to sing the theme to the Beverly Hillbillies and I can knock it down? I'm a loser. Sanford and Son. Yes, Sanford and Son. Love that show. Love that show. I stroked a bottle to that. Yeah. 93-minute mark of the show. Mark it down.
You got to get stroked.
Daisy Dukes. Yes.
Honestly, that's our stroking guys.
Oh my God. Do you guys, what was the other TV show with the guy that was accused of murdering his girlfriend or his wife? Beretta. Oh, Starsky and Hutch. Yes. Oh, Hill Street Blues. Oh, Moonlighting.
Let's wind the clocks back a year.
I can keep going. Cougs Johnson. Unfortunately, 50% of all TV viewership comes from only 18 teams. Well, you're not wrong about that. Man, Baywatch, 8-year-old me was in love with Pam. Yeah, but don't you know now just how dirty Pam was?
That's the issue, isn't it?
Right? Like, wasn't it nice when we were all innocent guys and we thought she was an innocent gal?
Biologics.
Yeah, and then you get some on you and your skin starts boiling.
Human or non-human?
Yeah, biologics. Like, it's
biologics.
It's not good. Gilligan's Island, Marianne or Ginger? Marianne all day. Yeah, Marianne. Perry Mason, always good. Always good. What about, oh no, the guy in Boston. Oh my God. Oh, the detective.
Fucking Cole Beasley.
No, not Cole Beasley. The guy, he drove the Mustang. Oh my God. He was a private detective. He had the tall black guy with the bald head, the partner. Oh, God, I love that show.
Wolf of Wall Street.
No. You're such a cop. Oh my God. I got to find that show. No. Yes, reruns of Jerry Springer from NBC Tower. Yeah, 21 Jump Street with Johnny Depp.
Bro.
Oh, man. Not MacGyver. MacGyver was phenomenal, too. Spencer for Hire. Yes. Spencer for Hire. Dude, I could do this all day. Yeah, Kurt Myers. Monty is hallucinating again, or is this dementia? Kojak.
We did.
What about the Coroner Show? Oh my God, the Coroner Show. Jack. Oh my God.
Niehoff.
Shut up. Jack Klugman.
Yeah, same thing. Klugman, Niehoff, who's counting?
Oh, the Corner Show with Jack Klugman. Oh, it's such Quincy. Wasn't it Quincy? Oh, please. Yes, Quincy. Quincy MD.
Quincy.
$6 million man. Hell yeah. Taxi. Hell yeah. Barney Miller. Absolutely not. Oh, Alf was good. See, that's it. Show's over. Right? Like, that is. Bye, Jake. It was so good. Dude, 80s TV was so good. But anything not to have to talk about the. Is this a good deal for the Pac-12? Let's put a bow on this. Do you, in your opinion, in the comment section, do you guys believe this is a good deal for the Pac-12? The Pac-12 and the CW announced an expansive deal today. No details. They didn't tell us how many affiliates, what the saturation was. They didn't tell us how much money, who was paying for what. It's a very interesting way to spin this deal. I don't know that we can say this is a good deal yet. I just don't. And when you look at these teams exiting the Mountain West, the money and the frustration, as it was explained to me today, was the money they've spent, the battle they're fighting, the bridges they've burned for a TV deal that doesn't get them the distribution that they had in the Mountain West is very problematic.
What are we doing?
And if you are the Mountain West and you bring in a deal that ends you up back on CBS and gets you on ESPN on some form or fashion, and this is going to be a tough sell to the former members. And it's very difficult. If you are a Pac-12 fan, I understand it, and I understand my Pac-12 fans. I understand why Pac-12 fans are frustrated today. And it is this false expectation. And this is across our society. It's pervasive. Oh, we're the best. We're the greatest. Make America great again. The Gulf of America. Like, we do this stuff in politics now where we just blow things up and it's amazing and all this money and like, you look at this, Doge is going to do that. We're going to do this. We're going to cut it in half. It's going to end on day one. And then none of that happens. It's exactly what the Pac-12 did. Oh, best P5 conference that's not a P5. We'll be a P5. Well, we'll be the best G6.
The little brother syndrome is incredible.
We're going to have an incredible media rights deal. The biggest one you've ever seen. And they were telling me it's amazing what this conference is. And I've heard that, and people are saying, and then you're back on the CW without telling us how much money you're making.
Because you're not making any money, and we all know it.
You get a huge win with your announcement in partnership with CBS. And then dead silence and no dollar figure attached to it, only to turn around and announce the CW. So there's no, again, way back in the day, $15 million, $12 million, $10 million.
How long are we going to do this in the Pac-12? How long are we going to sit here and be like, yeah, they're going to get $600 million and Kirk Schultz is going to hold up the CFP committee? How long? Like, how many times over are we going to do this, guys? Like, how many times over are we going to sit here and make these ridiculous comments and statements only to be proven to look like an absolute buffoon? I mean, that's what this is, over and over and over again. And again, I'm more than happy to just ask this very, very simple questions. Still waiting for an answer from anybody. How is this conference going to be financially viable moving forward? You don't have a great TV deal. You're swamped in legal costs. Like where at what point, and I will die on this hill, at what point does the Pac-12 get private equity involved to boost the conference financially to get them to a higher level?
Can you? And my bigger question is, with this CW deal, what happens if Boise State's not a good team this year? What happens if without Ashton Ginty they backslide? Because the hit piece that John Canzano put out on UNLV today is remarkable. John Canzano essentially said that people at UNLV are disappointed not to be in the Pac-12. John Canzano today, and I do not subscribe to John Canzano, so I appreciate all 1,500 of you who sent me his article, including our guy Phil Venzer, Angry Phil from Vegas. It was a strange thing to throw out there talking about how UNLV took a shot at the Pac-12. A shocking statement is what they're saying. When Eric Harper, who's the athletic director at UNLV, put his name on one longtime former Pac-12 executive called a shocking statement. Nobody I've talked to was shocked about anything that Eric Harper said. I have talked to multiple people at UNLV, and it's how, and I want to make sure that people understand this. It is how we have been so on top of everything that's happening in Vegas. Do you, again, for Bean's transistor radio guy thing.
Transistor radio guy.
For all of the Pac-12 haters who say, I don't have sources and I don't talk to anybody. How are we so right about UNLV then? How are we so right about the Mountain West being in business with CBS? How are we so right about all of this? We don't talk to anybody. Because I can tell you, I've talked to people at UNLV who have straight up told me they never seriously considered going to the Pac-12. The money never made sense to them. The pitch, if indeed the pitch was, you're going to have to sue to get out of the Mountain West in those exit fees, that was a non-starter. Because all of these athletic directors and presidents talked about this amongst themselves. It never made sense to the people I spoke to at UNLV. During that entire process, it never made sense to those people to leave the Mountain West to go to the Pac-12 for money that isn't guaranteed, with no media rights deal and no future to speak of. Because that's the reality in the Pac-12. And again, Pac-12 fan, be pissed off, get upset. Okay, cool. You can't tell me what you're making in your media rights deal. And I can almost assure you, you can't tell me because they don't even know what they're making in their media rights deal. And they've had what I believe they're in business with CAA, who is supposedly negotiating their TV deals. CAA can't even bring in a TV deal for the Pac-12. They don't know their media rights deal. They don't know how they're going to make money or how much money they're going to make. They are paying enormous legal fees in their battle with the Mountain West. And it was all sold on the Mountain West is going to disappear anyway. And we're going to have a huge media rights contract. And none of that's come to fruition. Because the Mountain West didn't just fold and disappear. The Mountain West went and got GCU, and you're so upset about that, and now you're suing them over it or amending a lawsuit to include that. And so, again, I ask you, when you hear about this stuff and you hear the Canzanos of the world who, by any stretch of the imagination and any description, has been inaccurate about everything that's happened in the Pac-12, all the way back to the meltdown. This conference is going to make it $50 million a year, back of the envelope calculations. This guy has been wrong repeatedly, so much so that the people he talks about come and talk to us. They reach out to us. When he was telling people that $50 million a year, we had people in years ago now. Hey, it's not necessarily true. I can't tell you. And again, I go back to the meltdown at Washington, the University of Washington, when they called our studio and tried to drill us for 5 minutes. And at the end of the day, apologized. And it's just we're fighting against this narrative being put out by Pac-12 media.
A dude gets on the phone and is like, I'm going to talk to your boss.
Yeah, the guy literally from Washington. Because what happened was we called President Kase. And it got back to her people that we called her. And people affiliated with that program lost their mind. We're calling your boss. Who? Okay, well, sure. You got his number because you just dialed it. Here, let me transfer you. Like, it was remarkable. And so today, you get this nonsense where Canzano says, who's calling the shots at UNLV? Were the Rebels fools or wise to turn their backs on the Pac-12? One well-placed source in Las Vegas told me on Wednesday, don't think anyone in Vegas or in the alumni group is that happy with UNLV's current administration. Do you know the single biggest complaint that I hear from UNLV fans? They don't like that they have to pay for parking at Allegiant Stadium. That is, if you look at my YouTube comment section, my TikToks, I hate that I got to pay for parking at Allegiant Stadium. I love going to games there. It's a great place to watch a game. But why do we have to pay for parking? That's all I ever hear about. If that's your biggest issue, and I understand, listen, there's a lot of UNLV boosters that we know who are not real thrilled with the status of that football program, who had really high expectations that were dashed this past weekend. But nobody at UNLV, nobody is disappointed this team didn't go to the Pac-12. Nobody is upset that they are still in the Mountain West. They have security. They have overwhelming financial incentives to stay in the Mountain West. The Mountain West is relocating to Las Vegas. They, by no means, are disappointed. And it's trash like this, where you have the back of the envelope calculation guy writing, people at UNLV are just so what, John? What?
Back of the envelope calculations.
You won't consistently report the same thing. And I'm not telling you, anybody in the sourcing game is not going to tell you who they're talking to. But if anybody tells you that people at UNLV are upset they didn't go to the Pac-12, tell them to pound sand, because that is simply not the case.
Yeah.
That is not the case. UNLV financially is not in a position to take a significant financial risk. And I don't care how you slice it. If you're one of those exiting members of the Mountain West, you are in a huge financial jackpot, because you're paying lawyers' fees, and a lot of them. You have no idea what your TV check is going to look like. You have no idea what your revenue distribution is going to look like. You have no idea if you have access to the college football playoff or not. You have no certainty in your future, except that your games are going to be on the CW. That's your certainty. And it is a very difficult place to be when you are trying to build, when you're think about the best football brands in the new Pac-12. There is no question Oregon State, Boise State, you just Colorado State, Fresno State right now on the up. There's no way that those programs are in a better position now than they were before this announcement of the new Pac-12, because they have no financial certainty. And then you get jackwagons like Canzano telling you, oh, UNLV this and UNLV that, and back of the envelope calculations, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, just no idea how. I don't understand how people think he's credible, or think that somehow he's been right about stuff. I just can't. I can't get down with it, and it's weird to me. And honestly, this has been the conundrum with the Pac-12 for ages. Is you know, like the hardcore Pac-12 defender just will never admit that it's just not where it should be, and you know, until that changes, the conversation is never really going to be all that enjoyable, in my opinion.
I want Pac-12 fans to have some kind of calm water. And unfortunately, I just don't see that coming. Jared Curry. Are we still ignoring the fact that Wyoming hasn't received a Big Ten offer yet? They are clearly one of the top 7 teams in Wyoming. I don't know how
The dynasty is not over.
How we're not talking about that. See, that's
Well
the kind
played.
of levity I needed.
Well played.
That's the kind
well
of
done.
levity I needed. And all 10,000 of you watching the show right now, bless you. Because that's, Reister JP, I'm living on the air in Cincinnati. You guys remember WKRP? Let's see. Who else? King of Thailand. But Monty, Scott Barnes said CW would get $16 million per school. What happened? I think Scott Barnes would do things very differently if he could go back. And if he could go back 2 years, 2.5 years, Scott Barnes would do things very differently. Joey B, my Colorado State Rams should have stayed put in the Mountain West and hoped that a Big 12 expansion included them in 2029 or so. I think, and it's not uncommon for journalists to write things like regret or uncertainty, or if you're an exiting member of the Mountain West, I don't know how you don't have regret right now.
Seriously.
It's not possible, because I tend to agree with what you've always said, Jake, and you should roll it out again. You have no idea what you have, but you know what bill of goods the Pac-12 was selling when they came in and got your signature.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that the departing members of the Mountain West who were so eager to go to the Pac-12 and bought this concept of the grass is greener on the other side of the fence, I would agree. I don't know how you don't have regret. And the whole thing about, the Pac-12 is going to get this ridiculous TV deal, and like, we're going to get paid, and the Mountain West sucks, and everything's terrible in the Mountain West, and we're going to have a better chance. And honestly, I do wonder, and again, just speculating my opinion, something I wonder, did some of these administrators initially, early on in the process, did you sincerely in your heart buy that this conference would be a P5 again? Was that part of the
I
pitch?
think so. I don't think there's any doubt.
And if it ever comes out that is in fact true, because I would agree, I do think they did buy that. The foolishness of that thought tells me everything I need to know about the people running these schools. If you think that you were ever going to unwind the watch of no longer being a power conference, you're out of your mind. There is no way that was ever going to happen. And again, we sit here in a day and age in college football where everyone wants to cry poor. Oh, don't have enough money, NIL, house settlement, portal, new facilities, Oak State James be damned. Like we're all crying poor. And then you've got this little swath on the West Coast that seemingly has just endless money trees out on the football field that are just paying for all these legal fees and all these what I would call shenanigans and extracurriculars that just were completely and utterly unnecessary. Like, unnecessary. You did not need to be here. You want to talk about regret? You did not need to be in the position you are right now. You put yourself there.
Yeah, you put yourself in the jackpot. I would agree with that. Make sure you hit the like button if you're watching on X right now. Hello to you. Appreciate everybody. Our show has really grown on X, the X platform, and we appreciate that. Make sure you find the link up in the bio. Coming over to YouTube, give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, interact. You see everybody in the comments section. Really appreciate you guys. We couldn't do this show without you. RM Sports Podcast. Okay, go check them out. Freaking love the Pacific Arrogance Conference. Well, and there's definitely some of that. You are not wrong. There is definitely some of that. John Evans from Dallas County, Texas. My SWAC has more games on ESPN than the Pac-12. Well, You're not wrong about that. And yeah, it just never had to be this way, dude. It never had to be this way. Gabriel, imagine how Gonzaga feels right now. For basketball, you're fine.
Yeah, Gonzaga's chilling, dude.
Gonzaga basketball will be on CBS, and Gonzaga will be their Gonzaga games will be on C-Dub. Their Gonzaga games. Okay. Gumby, how long before Canzano reports that I've received an offer to the Big Ten? Well, have you? Is that true? Are you trying to break some news here on the program? You know, Johnny Gonzalez, Texas State has a better pro rata than the PAC.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Kurt Myers, did the PAC give all their members full shares? Indeed, they did not. They did not. No, they did not. Eric Wasikowski, dead 12 talk is boring. Oh, well, for some people, you know. King of Thailand, Jake, what else was Scott Barnes going to say to the schools that left the Mountain West only to song PAC-2 could sell was the P5 Rebirth? A complete fantasy so huge, I would say PAC-2 Live.
But that's precisely, and I would agree. I wouldn't take it that far, but the concept of, hey, this is what else was the PAC-2 going to sell? And what else were they going to say is precisely the reason why you should not have done it. You knew the opportunity. You knew the challenges they would face. You knew the issues that you would run into, yet you still did it. And inevitably, and you mark my words, before this year is over, this calendar year, not the football season, but before this calendar year is over, I guarantee you we will start to hear rumblings of, oh, well, man, the Pac-12 hasn't quite made as much money as they thought. They're needing to kind of, they're trying, they got to figure something out here. Like they're going to need a boost, and we're going to get some of those rumblings before this year is over. I guarantee it.
Gabriel, if you are a Gonzaga fan, it's time to be disgusted. We'll see. We'll see. Brandon Price. Hello, Brandon. Let's go, Monty. Week 1, we get the Catholics versus convicts.
Damn right we do.
I got to tell you guys, I'm nervous about Notre Dame. I'm not, and I know that I panic on this show regularly.
Well, you were so wrong about them last year. I mean, I don't know why you'd be nervous this year.
Do you guys remember all the Notre Dame fans that came in here and said I was a bad Catholic because I wasn't supporting the team? And I freely admit I'm a terrible Catholic.
Come on, man.
I won't get in the rectory with Oak State James because mainly Jake's
in
already
God's name, image, and likeness.
Dude, I'm so stoked for that game. And my wife, this is honeydew weekend.
Oh God, what's on? Just give us an idea. What are some of the list items?
Lots of sex. Just lots of sex, and it's
stay hard.
It's the cross that I bear.
I mean, it is a big burden. I understand.
It's going to be cool enough this weekend that we're going to clean out the garage. We have a lot of stuff in the garage that needs to go to Goodwill. That'll happen. I'm not allowed to play golf this weekend. In fact, she sold my golf clubs to a vagrant who actually uses them more Weller than I do. More Weller. Nothing? Okay. He uses them. He swings them better than I do. But no, we just have a lot of like garage clean out stuff, and it's her birthday. It's her birthday.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna have to do what do you? And I always ask her, what do you want for your birthday? Crazy.
Nothing.
No. Oh no. Oh no. She's like crazy amounts of sex. I'm like, if that's. But
hold on. You're on the GLP-1 now. You got to get your workout in. This shouldn't be a complaint, Monty.
Hey, they say you gain 12 inches for every pound you lose. So pretty soon, we're going to be Pinocchio over here.
Right.
But the point is,
do you even lift?
My wife is revolted by my human form. So this is all a lie.
Even if you'd like to be.
Yeah. When you just love it, if you're like, honey, what do you want for your birthday? Oh, I just want lots of sex.
I want it.
Hopefully she doesn't have that kind of bass in her voice. But my point is, no, this is definitely not a honeydew weekend. We've got to get our ass in gear because we have not done what needs to be done. So I need to get my garage taken care of because I want to have the floor epoxied and clean some stuff out. And so we got to do that. And
well, and the community garage sale is here in a few weeks, and so
I hate the community garage sale.
Yeah, are we comment section? Do you guys do community garage sales where like the whole block is selling random stuff?
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, my wife's birthday is coming up, and so I have to decide: are we doing diamonds? Do I just go get a phallic symbol from a WNBA game and repackage it? Too much? Probably too much. Thanks for not even noticing that, Jake. I'm sorry. Are you distracted?
Monty.
What's the matter?
Nothing.
What were you looking at?
Nothing. I was just looking at my phone. The CNN shooter story is rough, dude.
Yeah, I hope you guys are not following that story.
Yeah.
I know it's shocking. We had another shooting in this country.
Yeah.
But or another shooting we're dealing with in this country. But it's not great. But anyway, my wife's birthday. So do you guys go big for birthdays? We've been together. I think this is our 29th birthday together or something like that. No, like our 27th. This will be her 27th birthday with me. Absolute hell for her. So I'm trying to decide, like, is it a diamond ring birthday? No. Is it a cubic zirconia birthday? Probably. Like, are you doing a nice dinner? Like, I just don't know. What do you do for
well, did you ask her what she wants for her birthday at all? Do you have, any sense of like what she would even want?
No idea. Oh, look, Devo Bronk. That's actually why Monty hates the NPAC 12. I don't know what the NPAC 12 is. It's a total threat to the perception of the Western Big 12 school. Fuck, bro. I'm a Notre Dame fan. What do you mean it's a total?
What do you mean?
It's
dude?
a threat to the perception of the Western Big 12. Bro, how much crack did you smoke today? What is the Western Big 12 schools? Just like he turned on the whack when the Mountain West. I turned on the whack. Now, wait, this is a new one.
Monty, this is a new one. Hold on. Breaking news here on the Monty program. We have a new hater alert for Monty, a new reason so by this comment, we're a Mountain West hater show.
No. I now apparently hate the whack. I hate
Yes, you did. Yes,
never
you
heard this.
did.
I was unaware that I hate the whack. When the Mountain West started, like the Mountain West when BYU and Utah. So now I hate the whack. The NPAC 12. You're going to have to inform me on what the NPAC 12 is. Never heard of that. Now I hate the NPAC. Excuse me. Is that like a new political action group? The WAC, the Mountain West, and now BYU in Utah.
So I said, yeah.
As a Notre Dame fan, it makes perfect sense.
Bro, I don't know what kind of meth they make in Bullhead Land, according to your picture, but that stuff is a little bit too strong, bro.
It's wild to me. Like, listen, you're wearing a cereal bowl for a hat. I guess I should have expected this. I should have expected this when you posted that. But this is a new low. Like, do you understand how desperate Pac-12 fans are to be victims? That's what this is. And I am amazed by it. I am amazed by it. Randy Riding, the Pac-2 arrogance destroyed what could have been a great merger. Pac and Mountain West both would have won. Yeah. And it destroyed one of the best athletic conferences in the country when the original Pac-12 melted down. Because that conference, had they gotten their media rights deal done, and had you taken the $30 million deal, that conference would have been one of the best football conferences in the country.
Yeah.
And that's wild. Roche, I'm taking my wife to La Caliente for our anniversary this weekend. I like it. Monty going to miss some good football cleaning the garage. Oh, no. It's called an iPad and Wi-Fi. 70 degrees in Michigan. Go back to Florida in a week where it's still 85. Like, how often are you in Michigan? King of Thailand, how many times a day we talking, Monty? The morning wood on those medicines is electric, dude. You have no idea. Big Daddy Magic.
Oh, dear.
Timothy.
Timothy, my boy, I wish Notre Dame had the guts to play BYU. We did, and we beat wholesale ass several times. That would be such a bonding experience for me and AJ.
Oh.
But that's what you get when Notre Dame is nothing more than a bunch of puppet socks. Okay. That's cool. I'm 100% Protestant. TCU is a disciple of Christ School. You're not a TCU fan.
Okay, bro. Like,
what the fuck?
Like, what? Like, what?
Oh, my
Bro,
God.
what are you talking about, man?
Did you just say that TCU is a disciple of Christ School? How do I say this politely? Who cares? Like, who cares? I don't care. Yes, see why my wife is awesome. My wife will ask for tickets to either Baylor or TCU football games for her birthday. She will want to go to a football game. My wife loves going to football games.
Yeah.
Loves it. You know, it's fine. Now I hate the whack.
Yeah, I mean,
how do you hate the whack?
Can I just ask, how do you do it? How do you get these guys to say just the most outrageous things in our comment section? I mean, it really is impressive.
Yeah, there you go. That accusation is way too whack to be true. Thank you.
See what he did there? It's like it's whack and it's whack.
My car is awesome. When we went to North Carolina a few months ago, my car handles like a dream. It's
okay. Okay.
You know. Love Muscle, HOA yard sale. It's miserable. I live in an area where we have a community garage or yard sale, and I think probably 10,000 people are on the street, and it's brutal. It's terrible. It is absolutely terrible. You know, Gabriel, dude, no one gives a rat's ass about the whack.
Yeah, who cares?
Saying that I hate the whack is truly that is pedo state guy coming in here saying, you stick to what's on the field. Nobody cares about us diddling young boys.
Don't talk about pederast you.
We're the 7th best team in Texas.
Hot ass.
Like, that's one of the craziest things that's ever been said on this show. Wild. Charles Webster Jr. I'm surprised that now the PAC has Texas State. They target the central time zone, look into getting the rest of the AAC West in UTSA, Rice, North Texas, and Wichita State. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, where's our Texas State contingent at? It's been a minute, bro.
Yeah. Oh, you're a Youper. Okay. Yeah, Upper Peninsula in Michigan's nice, dude. It's tough to beat that. It is.
I didn't realize there was a term, the Youper. You're a Youper.
Yeah.
You know. Okay.
Monty versus the whack, the most 80s thing on this show today, minus the 80s show segment, right? I love it. That's the levity we needed.
Yeah,
that's the levity we needed. I mean, you know, it is what it is.
And listen, we haven't even gotten to the red ass tennis take of the day yet. So
are we doing that now?
Well, I mean, we've only got 45 minutes left. We can't not do it today.
Is it really 4:15? Bro, where did it go? Yeah, Jake is all of a sudden a huge fan of Carlos Alcatraz.
Okay, bro, he's not Alcatraz.
Oh, okay? I'm sorry. Carlos Alcantara.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Jake, in our pre-show meeting, Jake was like, oh, bro, hey, dude, bro, hey, bro. I want to tell you about this Carlos Alcantara video. And when you're named after a prison like Alcatraz, dude, you can't have haircuts like this.
I just want to ask what happened to your hair. Is what you get a cut, or I saw something online about your brother cutting it, or what was the sort of timeline of your transformation? Because you look very different than last time.
Yeah, I know. Quite different, I guess. Yeah. I mean, it was just
I felt like my hair was really long already, and before the tournament, I just really wanted to get a haircut, and suddenly, just my brother just he was misunderstood with the machine. He just cut it, and then the only way to fix it is just save it all. And it just why it came, this haircut. But to be honest, it's not that good. It's not that bad, I guess.
Why was your brother cutting your hair when there's? I know, like in Paris, you brought your Victor, to Paris to cut your hair.
Yeah, I mean, New York is too far away, for Victor. So
there's also thousands of professional people in New York.
Yeah, it just okay. I not really into the hair at all. So I'm the guy who thinks like, okay, the hair grows, and in a few days it's gonna be already okay, I guess. So it just happened, and that's it.
Okay, first of all, shut up. Nobody cares.
Bro, okay, hold on a second.
Nobody
you
cares.
Can't be serious. You can't.
Second
your take on this can't be that you don't care about this story.
I don't give a rat's ass.
How do you not care about this? This
because
dude
it's
just
tennis.
said,
dude, he's playing tennis.
But it's not tennis, dude. It's the #1 tennis player in the world. Just said, bro, my brother
can't work a Floby. He said my brother can't work a Floby.
He messed up he had a quote misunderstanding with the machine, and the only way to fix it was to shave my head. And we're saying this isn't a story at all?
No, I don't care.
Bro,
I'm a man. Listen, this right here. Dude, first of all, screw you for that kind of muscle definition, and screw you for being that lean. Oh, do cardio, fat ass. Okay, great.
Dude, this guy is the next Rafa Nadal right here, and you're saying you don't care,
if he's the next Rafa Nadal, we better talk about it.
I mean,
sorry, Rafa who?
Come on.
Rafael Palmeiro? Rafael Palmeiro. He's the next Rafael Palmeiro. Okay. Yeah, I don't care about Carlos Alcaraz at all. Not even a lot. Like, if his brother can't work a Floby, I know it's crazy. He's in New York. There are barbers in New York.
You bitch and moan about not having stuff to talk about. Then I bring you a story where dude's brother went and just like messed up his entire flow. And now we're saying this isn't a story. I mean, come on, Monty.
Jake.
Yeah, I get it. I
Right
get it.
here.
It's the new Alcaraz prison in Florida is open, guys. You want to go visit it? Nice.
This isn't a story.
Okay.
It's not that good. Yeah, slip of the truth. Exactly right.
Yeah.
Whoa, are you sure? Carlos Alcaraz is a good tennis player. I mean, I've heard that.
Can I just James, can you just at some point help me with any of your comments, dude?
Hey, Monty, I just want you to know Carlos Alcantara is a really good tennis player.
What do you mean he is a good? No, I'm sorry. He's the #1 player in the world, and you're out here saying that he's a quote good tennis player.
I'm sorry. I thought you said.
Bro,
first of all, he's not the #1 player in the world. Some asshole named Yannick who sinners. Yannick is a sinner. Is the #1.
Okay, second player in the world, brother.
Carlos Alcantara is #2. He's 22 years old. What a dick. He's 22 years old, brother. And my guy is shredded like this. How dare you wear that outfit when I'm on Zep Bound? How dare you? Like, and I'm supposed to be surprised? Now I know a 22-year-old can't figure out how to get a haircut in New York City. I mean, wow. This is at least that shock. A 22-year-old can't fend for himself in New York. I mean, send in the National Guard. Fuck it. You know what? You can't get a haircut. It's National Guard on every corner. Nothing? Okay.
If this was Patrick Mahomes, y'all would be having a conniption fit over this.
Okay. Novak Djokovic
he's
still
not.
Nikola Jokic is still the GOAT.
He's not. He's not.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Randomness says tennis is on the CW. I've heard that.
Damn.
And it sucks.
Do more people watch the U.S. Open or PAC? Okay, now you guys have that feels like a step too far. No, keep going. It feels like that's not necessary.
Listen, Wimbledon was on the ESPN Plus app. Just saying.
Oh my God. 2 for whoa. What happened to the comment section? Jeez Louise. Okay. I don't know. You guys, too many comments and stuff. Alcatraz might be the only person jealous of Ryan Smith's hairline. See, I'm here for RM Sports Podcast. Yes. 2 for $6 RBQ commercial. I'm hungry. Okay. That's fine. I remember when John McEnroe got a haircut, it was epic. So do I. That's very true.
You start talking about some guys who has a last name of Alcatraz, and all of a sudden it doesn't matter.
He looks like he got his hair cut by a National Guard barber.
Dude, right?
Oh, conundrum. Little House on the Prairie, greater than tennis. Okay, but I watch golf, so who am I to say? How the F are there only 56 likes? Yeah, let's go.
Axe.
Over 2,000 views on this show today, 57 likes.
It's because it's a Pac-12 show, so all the haters are here.
All the haters are here. I would agree. We're over, good Lord, we've had 110,000 views on X today. Phenomenal. Appreciate that, you guys. Thank you very much. Chiang Mai, Thailand got cracked by typhoon, 110 miles an hour.
Hey, how are you liking your move to Thailand, bud?
November 11th.
Yeah.
November 11th. Did you guys see that in Salt Lake City today? And I always feel bad for my dog when this happens, but we had cracking thunderstorms today. I mean, loud bangers, and it never rains in Salt Lake City.
Hell yeah, dude.
It never rains.
Was it quick, or did it last most of the day?
It was about an hour of and the funny, it's obviously it's during the day. When the lightning is real when you can see it during the daylight hours.
Yeah.
And it had thundered, so I was standing on my back porch and I was listening to the rain. I love rain. I think it is one of the most cathartic sounds ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm standing there watching the rain and just a massive flash of lightning. And it had to be close because the thunder was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yes, hit the like. All right. Couple other things I want to get to. What do you guys make of this Jerry Jones thing? This story's got some legs. People are reporting it now that the Dallas Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers are escalating trade talks around Micah Parsons, and that the Dallas Cowboys are willing to trade him to Green Bay, who is willing to give up 2 number ones. And I want you to chew on that. Listen to Jerry Jones trying to spin this nonsense with Stephen A. Smith.
Spirit of not doing the old mother-dad deal. How many times have you seen the little rascal so clever go in there and mama told him, you're not going to get it. And goes in to daddy, who only sees him after 5 in the afternoon, wants to love him, and says, you can have it, son. You can have that before dinner. And he goes back in and says, Mama, Daddy said I could have it. That's the old mom, dad, been around since the beginning of time. I'm not going to go for that here. That's what's happening.
You're not going for it?
I'm not going for it. No. But we've had a very, very strong negotiation. Now, by the way, frankly, it wouldn't have made any difference what the negotiation was. Guess who has to be comfortable for this to work?
Micah.
And who else?
You.
Hello. There's not room for a third. There's not room for a third. This will be a good one.
What do you mean there's not, quote, room for a third. Like what? NFL agents are the third. That they are that person. He's representing. Dude, David Mulugheta is representing, buddy. What do you mean room for a third, Jerry?
I will never understand it. I will never understand it. And I look at Micah Parsons and I look at Dak Prescott and I look at before that Ezekiel Elliott and Lawrence, 100 other guys. How do these guys always wind up getting away? How does it happen in Dallas where you wait to the very last moment to sign CeeDee Lamb and you overpay him handsomely?
By a mile.
You wait to the last minute to sign Dak Prescott and you pay him handsomely. And now you thought you could X out an agent and get Micah Parsons to do a deal. And then when he wouldn't, you trash him. And now you're going to wind up trading him. I don't see how this is anything other than a complete failure for Jerry Jones. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it doesn't add up. And the thing is, I don't understand. And again, I do understand, but just from a logical standpoint, I don't understand why Jerry does it this way, right? Like, why put yourself in this position? Oh, I know, because you want to go on the SAS show and talk about the mom and dad situation. And, you want to talk about, circumcising skeeters and, you want to talk about like doing deals a certain way and, just all of it. And I am more convinced than ever before that Jerry Jones does not actually care about winning a Super Bowl. Jerry Jones just wants to be in the media. And that is why he does things that are dumb and stupid and illogical, because to him, they are not dumb, stupid, and illogical. They are what he should be doing so he can stay in the conversation. So I'm just convinced of that at this point.
Yeah, I think if you go from Dallas to Green Bay and you get $45 million from the Packers, he's going to say yes to that. And the best part of this whole thing, and this is the thing that I always love about these stories, is do people immediately start talking about, oh, hey, we're fine, we'll replace it? No. What's the first thing that they do? And I'm trying to load the picture, but I guess it doesn't like me today. The first thing that they do is they start tracking private jets from Dallas to Green Bay. And so, of course, there's pictures of an alleged Micah Parsons at the airport and a jet from Green Bay to Dallas for tomorrow morning. Oh, this has got to be the one. This has got to be the one, right? Like, you're out of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
If you think, like, I just don't, and maybe he does get paid. Maybe he does get traded tomorrow, but it won't be because of this jet. Like, do you believe that this jet is a reason?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have more connection than just, hey, there's a private jet going from Green Bay to Dallas. Sorry, dude, that's not a good enough connection. The tail number would have to be connected to Micah or Jera or the Packers, or like, you would have to have a legitimate connection. But I have to tell you, like, I don't know, like, is this best case scenario for the Cowboys to trade him and get you first? I mean, yeah, it's good value, but
I guess,
I mean, you're literally losing a no question about it, no doubt about it, Hall of Famer. And I don't know how that's ever good for your football team. But again, it's great for Jera because Jera just wants to be in the middle of it all. So, that's why he's doing this.
Yeah, I think it's funny, like Kay Adams now, because she did an interview with Jordan Love, and Jordan Love talked about how he's been recruiting Micah Parsons for a long time. And now there's like jokes about how the Packers are going to retire her number. And I mean, it's just so crazily out of control in the AI stuff. And it is remarkable to me how many people just assume that this is
can't help themselves, man. Just cannot help themselves and want it so badly. Just
do you believe that Micah Parsons is going to the Packers?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a good chance of it because they have the picks and they have the desire to get it done. I mean, the early reporting said that they really wanted to get it done before this week was over. So I don't know if that's tomorrow or if that's like before the weekend's over or whatever it might look like. But listen, man, we're heading into week 1 here pretty shortly. Like, obviously, week 1 is not far away, and you know, you got to get this put to bed. I mean, this is a flat out distraction. I mean, the fact that Shoddy's having to, you know, say to the press, I'm going to talk to Micah about his behavior, you know, when he's laying, you know, on the bench, on the sideline, the medical table, sleeping, like, you know, like
I love it,
dude. And that's why I say, genuinely, if you step back and you're like, yeah, you know what, let's change the way we look at this. If you look at it and you say, hey, yeah, Jerry's behaving in a way and doing things in a way that puts him in the middle of everything, now everything starts to make sense. And that's where I say, like, I don't put it past Jerry anymore. I'm not surprised anymore. And everyone can speculate about who's cutting the checks, and Steven's cutting the checks and Jerry's doing the media. That's Jerry Jones' football team, one way or the other, whether you like that or not. And he is going to continue to put himself right in the middle of this thing for as long as possible. And I feel like another example of that.
Does it happen?
Yeah, I think it happens. I think he'll trade him, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was the Packers. I will say, if you're Jerry Jones, I don't think that's the smartest way to go about it. Obviously, you know, the Packers just piped you, what was that, a season ago or 2 seasons ago now, you know? And, you know, obviously, you know, NFC. So I don't know why you would do that to yourself, but you know, here we are.
Yeah, we'll see. I guess the thing that I struggle with is that I don't know. I don't know how Jerry Jones would take this kind of loss. I can't. The single reason I don't believe that this will happen is because I don't believe that Jerry Jones will admit he completely failed his franchise. I just don't. I can't see him doing that. Yeah. All right, let's see. Dude that abides, I believe in just being the best damn citizen I can be and hold out hope that someday we get real persons to count on and root for. Okay, what happened here?
Yeah, well, how did we get into the deep end here?
I don't know. Big Daddy Magic. He's going to Buffalo for a few 6th-round picks. Right. Yeah, that'll happen. It's going to take more than that. Of course, Micah goes to Green Bay, so Monty can hate 2 football teams at the same time. Oh, I flip and hate the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
There's no question. And don't forget, I hate everybody in the Mountain West. Or no, the Pac-12.
The WAC. The WAC. It's the WAC, yeah.
Thank you.
I get them confused, though. The WAC, the PAC. I mean, it's, you know, it's all kind of the same at this point.
Yeah. If Philly can trade Reggie, Dallas can trade Michael. Well, there's no doubt about that. Remember that to Green Bay? God, I hate that. If I am Dallas, I am only trading Micah to an AFC team, which is another thing I think is right. So I don't have to face the guy during the season, or not the season, the playoffs, if you ever get there.
Which you won't.
Come on. As someone who grew up in the DFW, that would be Denver Frontier West region.
Yeah.
There's no point in trying to rationalize Jared's decisions. He operates the way he does because he wants to be the main character at all times, and he has no oversight, none whatsoever. And if you did grow up in the DFW, dude, can you imagine losing Micah and Luka in the same year? Oh, that's brutal.
Rough.
He wants to be traded to Buffalo. Okay. I believe you. I believe in just being the best damn citizen. I read that one. Raiders may have to be looking for a new law firm now that Jacoby Myers wants to trade. Did you guys see that? That's a bummer. But, you know. I still have one more assessment to do, so I have to bow out.
No.
Great show today. I love the 80s TV talk earlier.
I mean, listen, I'll give you credit. Your excuses are evolving. Now you're not charting. You have an assessment to do. But come on, dude. That's all excuses.
All right. Ryder Cup coming up at the end of September. Here's the squad. I think it's a great squad. But who's missing from the players list? How come I don't see Keegan Bradley's name there?
Hmm.
Jake, do you?
I don't see him there. Did he go to a WAC school, Monty? Is that why he's not in there? Or?
Oh, I knew I hated him.
Yeah.
Why is Keegan Bradley not playing in an event that he says is his absolute dream? Well, maybe it goes back to the last Ryder Cup.
You've done great so far. It'll be fine.
I do not envy this part of this job.
Hey, Zach.
Hey, buddy. Thanks for being patient with me. There's no easy way to say this, my friend.
I find it just best to go in a different direction this year.
It's nothing you did or didn't do, because
you're amazing on and off the course. I just feel like it's best this year to go in a different direction.
I would love to take 30 guys, and I cannot.
And just know that I'm so grateful for you.
Okay, Zach, I understand. Wishing you obviously good luck and
hope you guys go over there and win it.
Thank you, Keeks. I appreciate you, buddy.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Zach.
Thank you, bud. Take care.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. My heart is beating so fast.
What are you guys doing? Nothing, honey. Your dad's waiting. All right. We need it.
Oh, that's just so crushing. That is Zach Johnson, the captain of the 2023 Ryder Cup, calling Keegan Bradley and essentially saying, you're not good enough to be on my team. And I think it is it was a huge mistake.
Yeah.
It was a huge mistake. And you remember that. And they go on to lose 16.5 to 11.5. And it's just brutal. And so now this year, Keegan Bradley is a captain, and he should be playing. But he said something today, and I don't think this is getting enough play. And I don't think he's getting enough credit for this, because you just saw how crushed he was when he was left off the Ryder Cup squad. Now he's the captain, and he can put himself on the squad to play in the only event that most people in golf give a rat's ass about. And he didn't do it, and here's why.
This was a really tough decision. I would say there was a point this year where I was playing a while ago, and, all these guys stepped up in a major way and played their way onto this team. And that's something that I'm really proud of and something that I really wanted. But it was an extremely difficult decision, and, but one that I'm really happy with. I'm really happy with these 6 players, and I'm glad it's over.
And Keegan, a very quick follow-up, if I could. I wonder if you'd agree with the statement that if the U.S. captain was anyone other than Keegan Bradley would be playing on this team.
How are we ever going to know that? Because I am the captain. But I grew up wanting to play Ryder Cups. I grew up wanting to fight alongside these guys, and it broke my heart not to play. Really did, because you work forever to make these teams, but ultimately I was chosen to do a job. I was chosen to be the captain of this team, and my ultimate goal to start this whole thing was to be the best captain that I could be. And this is how I felt like I could do this. If we got to this point and I felt like, the team was better with me on it, I was going to do that. I was going to do whatever I thought was best for this team. And I know 100% certain that this is the right choice. And these 6 guys, again, played so incredibly coming down the stretch here and made my decision a lot easier.
I think it's incredible. That's the number 11 player in the world golf rankings. When Ben Griffin, Bryson DeChambeau, and Cam Young, as well as Patrick Cantlay and Sam Burns, who are all ranked behind him, and justifiably Keegan Bradley should be playing in the Ryder Cup. And to further that assessment, the guys in front of him Harris English, Colin Morikawa, JJ Spawn, JT, Russell Henley, Xander, and Scheffler are all on the team playing, and Keegs is not. I think it's an incredibly selfless move. I give him so much credit for this.
Yeah, I mean, I think that people can't, maybe can't is strong, but just have a hard time understanding just how, selfless of a move it actually is, because he could have easily been selfish here. Could have easily said, hey, I'm going to be a playing captain, regardless of all the criticism from Rory and Rory saying that, as a captain, you can't really play. There's not enough time. It's its own role during the week. You have so much to do. And, I think Keegan deserves a lot of credit for the transparency as well. I mean, it takes some cojones to say at one point I was playing. At one point I was going to put myself on the team. And that changed based on how guys played. And I think that Keegan has always been, has always been a professional, always been a class act, always been a guy that did it the right way. And he grew up near Bethpage, if you know his story. And so I just think when you look at all the ingredients in this situation for Keegan Bradley, I think it's one of the most selfless acts that we've seen someone in sports leadership do, because he potentially will never play in the Ryder Cup at this point. Now, two cycles in a row. Last time, Zach Johnson, who I'm not a big fan of, said no to him. And now this time he's saying no to himself to serve the greater good, to do what the captain's job is to do, which is not play, do the media, lead the team. And also, I also would add this, if he were to insert himself into this squad and play, it would also be a distraction for the team, because everyone would be asked, hey, well, how's Keegs doing being a Ryder Cup playing captain? And they would constantly be asking, like, it would be a narrative, but now it's not. And I think that part is also very underrated in the conversation here.
Yeah, and you just feel terrible for him, because it's been 10 years since he's been on a Ryder Cup team, and he should have been on 2. Hey, look at that. Calford gifts 20 membership. Let's go. Thank you for that. Let's count them out. Who got them? Let me go up here. I got to go all the way up there. Shenandoah Daddy, Marcus Taylor, 2 Masta. Look at you hanging out in the background. Corey and Beverly, not SC notes though. Okay. Mr. Tollerstrup, Short Bus, Zach Sloter, Brad Jones, Ryan Day's championship beard. That guy too. RM Sports Podcast, welcome. 801 West Valley. Let's go, buddy. Where have you been? Micah Mars, Thomas Guest, Tree Fitty. Look at all the old heads in the free memberships. Let's go, Calford. Appreciate you, man.
Nice
Thank
job.
you so much. I see a lot of people DMing me, asking me about the like thing. I'm terrible at executing YouTube. I should be saying 2 times an hour, hit the like button, hit the like button. I just don't. And I appreciate everybody saying that, but my bad. I apologize. Chuck B. Although Bradley deserves a spot, rankings don't take into account momentum. Cantley, Burns, Havoc. I think Cantley played some terrible golf over the weekend. And especially in the final round, he just was never present. So, Calford says Keegan's always been a class act. Yes, he has.
Yeah.
Yes, he has. It's not about ego. It's about honor.
Agreed.
Yeah. And Chuck, I think Keegan's played some of the best golf of his life this year. I mean, obviously the Tommy Fleetwood meltdown gave him a win. Keegan put incredible pressure on him, right? Big Blue Horses, high caliber athletes step up on and off the field of play. This was professional athlete in a person looks like. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Mario Edits. Hello, Calford. Mape says, lost my grandmother this morning. Showgram is a nice break today. But sorry to hear that, buddy.
Yeah, sorry to hear that, bro.
Sorry for your loss, Mapes. Yes, do, please. I know that's always tough when we lose people. And then Jake wants to talk about Shrek today. I've never seen the movie. So is there a new Shrek movie coming out, Jake? What are we talking about?
No, there's a new term in the millennial dating sphere called Shrekking, where there's the premise of Shrek, the original Shrek, for those of you who watched it back in the day, you'll remember is that Fiona, the person Shrek marries or whatever, is an ogre by night and a princess by day, right? And
An
so
ogre.
this Shrekking term is a concept where millennials intentionally date someone who is perceived to be, below them, or maybe isn't like the hottest they could get, because they want less pressure in the relationship. They want to feel like they, did someone a favor. And apparently, Shrekking is coming back to fly in the absolute face of a lot of millennials because people are still breaking up and ending relationships, and it's still going sideways. So,
this whole thing sucks, right? Like I'm not saying this is unique to millennials because it's not, but we just go so far out of our way to demean and denigrate people about love.
yeah.
And I'll never understand. You're either too skinny or you're too fat, you're too dumb or you're too smart. Like, again, this digital age we live in has completely destroyed relationships in this country.
Yes.
And I will just never understand. Well, I'm going to date this. And this is a guy thing, in my opinion.
It is.
I'm going to date this fat guy, and I'm going to move on when I find somebody else. I'll break up with him over text.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, that's who we've become. And what is the point? Like, where does this come
Well,
from?
the point is allegedly that it's supposed to be this thing where guys feel more secure. That guys are like, hey, I'm going to date down so that I can feel more secure, in that, I don't have to have so much pressure in my relationship, and I can just do whatever I want to do. That's the premise of it, that you're Shrekking and dating down so that you can just do whatever the hell you want and it doesn't matter.
No. Oh, I don't look at it that way at all. I think you're Shrekking, which again is very clearly, hey, I'm going to date somebody I perceive to be below me.
Yeah.
Looks, stature, whatever.
Mostly looks, because it's called Shrekking because in Shrek, the woman is an ogre at night and then turns into a princess in the day. And so people are calling this Shrekking because you're dating someone who's not nearly as attractive as you could probably get, so that you feel more secure in your relationship.
I think that's exactly what it is. So, because you're a coward.
Yeah.
Because you're not good at relationships and you're worried about getting dumped.
Yeah.
And the worst part is you're probably going to get dumped anyway, right? Because that Shrek that you chose to step down for is probably a better human than you are. And inevitably that makes for bad relationships. The whole thing is so damn toxic.
Yeah.
And to me, it just sucks out loud.
It's brutal.
I think it's absolutely abhorrent. I hate it. I hate everything about it. I truly do. Like it is, we're Shrekking, allowing, Jake to be on the show, but
I agree. Yeah.
That's what
I
it
totally
feels
agree.
like, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Toot pants wife. Guys wouldn't date me because they thought I was too smart. Me. Funny. I never thought you were too smart. Wife smacks me in the head. Exactly. Randomness. Is Tay-Tay Shrekking? Absolutely.
I mean, absolutely, dude.
I've only seen Shrek 2 and it was meh. Calford says Shrekking is whack.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, gargoyles. Exactly. Aptly applies to Queen Tay. Can you imagine Trav ever dumping Tay-Tay? Come on. All right. One thing I want to get into before we because from here on out, we're pretty much got to talk games of the week tomorrow and stuff. If you follow me on the talk, which is what I Shrek down to calling it, that didn't work. TikTok.
The cock.
I am amazed that people don't understand why there are limits to Roth IRAs. And there's this big argument going on in my comment section right now about how Roth IRAs work. Roth IRAs have some tax advantages, but they're very limited. You're limited to how much you can put in, and the point I made was if you're investing in a Roth IRA, one, you're on a paycheck because people who make money don't invest in Roth IRAs. The limitations are too
limiting,
penal.
Yeah, penal.
Right? They
Right.
penalize you. The money you're putting into a Roth IRA, in my opinion, I'm not a financial professional and I'm not giving you advice. My opinion is Roth IRAs are very limiting. The money that you're investing in a Roth, with the current state of our stock market or invest in real estate, anything, because you're in a Roth for long-term viability. That's why you put money in a Roth. You could put that into 1,000 other things. Oh, but when you take it out, you're going to get crushed. Okay, well, the point is you're going to have made way more money than you would have in a Roth. So even getting crushed, you're still going to have more money. And my point is, I'm a big believer that if you're on a paycheck, you've got to figure out how to make income that gets through an LLC or a pass-through.
But here's my question on that point, though, really quick. That point of, hey, you're going to get crushed. As a 9-to-5 employee, isn't that what you're doing anyway, though?
No. Not at all.
You're getting crushed
not at all.
already.
You're not, though. You're not making the money you should be making. You're not getting crushed. Just because you're a paycheck guy, you're not getting crushed. On the money you make, if you're a Roth guy, you're just limiting your future income. That's what you're doing. You're limiting yourself. The top end is capped. You are limiting how much money you can put into that Roth. Most people don't singularly use a Roth, which for obvious reasons. It's not that you are getting crushed already. You're limiting yourself. And the people who fight this fight, they fight it because they don't understand it. And the argument we're having on TikTok is, if you're using a Roth, you're doing retirement wrong. If you're trying to retire, you're doing your money wrong.
Mm-hmm.
There's no sense in fighting to save for retirement. What you should be doing is building wealth. What you should be doing is building your own thing. And if you need to work your 9-to-5, that's perfectly well. But you better have an LLC or an S Corp. And you better be passing money through that LLC and S Corp. And I try to explain this to people. I don't care if you love the big, beautiful bill or hate it. That's not my fight. The tax bill in this country behooves you to have a pass-through. It doesn't only behoove you. You are incentivized and encouraged to form an LLC and run money through it. And if you're not doing that, you are simply saying, I am not trying to build future wealth. Because it doesn't matter if you have $1 or $1 million. You should be running money through an LLC or an S Corp. Call your accountant. Oh, you don't have one. That's exactly my point. Call your tax person. Oh, you don't have one? Exactly my point. We can't be in this thing where we're like, oh, well, I'll have a job and I have a 401k and I have a Roth and I'm going to retire. You're not. The economy says you're not. And to your point, if you where you get crushed as a 9-to-5, you're never retiring on a 9-to-5 paycheck. And I just think people don't think about that. Right? And in your case, Jake, you're 32. If you are supposedly going to retire, that's 63 years at a minimum. And probably into your 70s by the time you actually get there, will the law allow you to retire?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's a very flawed mindset to be like, yeah, I'm going to work my 9-to-5 for my entire, like, because it's what we've always done, right? Hey, I'm going to work my 9-to-5 for my whole life. I'm going to save, and all those savings will allow me to retire. That's what we've done. But the problem is that after Gen X, and it started becoming a problem at the back end of the Gen X generation with Social Security and everything. So basically at the back end of the Gen X generation and the beginning of the millennial generation, Social Security, the concern about it running out started to grow and grow and grow. And now we know that it is running out, and that millennials are not going to see Social Security when it comes time. And so I just think that that people get all this anxiety about, well, what are we going to do for retirement? And my point's always been, instead of having that anxiety, work to create something that can, make you money while you're sleeping, right? Or make you money, because right now as a 9 to 5, you're trading your time for money, right? Like you do a thing, but you're essentially just trading your time for money. And that's why you get taxed to high heaven on that money. What the government wants you to do is they want you to create a business. They want you to have a setup to where it's transactional, it serves thousands of people. Like that's the kind of path they want you to go down.
They don't want you to. They're demanding it because it's the only way that you are ever going to be able to build wealth. And it takes almost nothing to start it. If you don't have $1 to your name, you probably shouldn't be doing anything but finding a second job or finding more income. If you have $500 and you're not taking that $500 to form an LLC, and it doesn't matter what you call it or what it's for. It does not matter. You can essentially, what is right in front of me? Call it, you're the cameraman LLC, the Monty Show fan LLC. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Name it after yourself, right? Name your first and your last name, Toot Pants LLC. It literally doesn't matter. Form an entity, start a business, and create videos on TikTok. Now your cell phone's a write-off. Now your internet stuff is a write-off. For me, I make videos on my car. My car's a tax write-off. The depreciation on that car is a tax write-off. My insurance is a tax write-off. My cell phone in its entirety is a tax write-off. For this show, all of my TV subscriptions, my internet, this studio that I pay for, all the camera, it's all tax write-offs. So what does that do? It's pushing down the amount of money that I have to pay in federal tax. It's not breaking the law. It's not illegal. In fact, it's encouraged.
Yet somehow it's been culturally turned into something that's illegal, which is wild to me.
And it's not, the worst part is it's simply that you won't educate yourself.
Yeah.
You won't educate yourself on the tax benefits of an LLC or an S Corp.
And the other thing that I think about too, like nobody seems to get the idea that, like, why wouldn't you want to make as much as you possibly can? Why? Like, because I think we as people, because we're just so like right here, right in front of our face with our perspective, right? We're just like, oh, another day, getting up, doing this. Like we're just doing the day to day.
Yes.
We don't understand the power of the concept that there are it's like 8 billion people on the planet. And I mean, how many of those people have access to the internet and can transact with a potential business or can view your content or, whatever the business line is? Like if I said to you, hey, like you can create a business to where you can write off everything that's in, and I can't remember the exact verbiage, don't crucify me, but the verbiage is something to the effect of like you can write off everything that is common and logical and you need to run that business and to do what you're trying to do. Why would you not write all that off and create a business that is available to as many people as possible? That's what I don't understand about people. Nobody's asking you to cure cancer. Like nobody's asking you to just do some wild ass thing or like this is my thing right now with the notion that every single person and their mom and their sister has to go to college. That's just not true. That's a fantasy. That's a lie they've told you to get you into debt. So you're paying percentage on that debt. Like it's a lie. And that's what's hard is I agree that a lot of us have credit card debt. There's a lot of things that are making this process a little more difficult, but we're not so far behind or so far in debt or so far held back that we can't take steps to create this for ourselves. Like that's the truth. We just are not, as you said, we're not educated enough to take the steps that we need to. And it's really not that difficult. We just have to be comfortable enough to go on YouTube and say, how does the tax code work? How does an LLC work? Like, I feel like people think it's like rocket science and it's really just not. It's not that difficult.
Yeah. And I wish people would educate themselves. We have this argument all the time, all the time. What is going on? Dumpster Raccoon LLC.
Dude, why are you calling for videos on the show, dude?
OTC needs the raccoon, Monty. What am I missing?
The
Dumpster
Mapes.
Panda. Dumpster Panda with Blue Cheese LLC. Why are we calling for the dumpster video now?
Oh, fucking God.
You guys are out with the video he needs is the video he needs is this one.
Waves in opposition. Anita Dick is an opponent.
Look at her face. Look at her face. Watch. Look at
Waves
her face.
in opposition. Holden Hiscock is also an opponent.
Oh my God. Anyway, I just find it fascinating that so many people don't want to know about how you create wealth for yourself. And again, I almost don't care if you like the big beautiful bill or not. Take advantage of it.
Yeah.
That's all you
Turn
can
it
do
into
is
a positive.
That's all you can do is take advantage of it. And as somebody that has multiple businesses and multiple LLCs and multiple income streams, I'm telling you, it is the only way, especially if you make more than $40,000-$50,000 a year. If you make less than that, you absolutely have to find additional revenue streams anyway. Right? Like there's so much you can do to help yourself. I just encourage you to get into it.
The only other thing I would say before we go is we gotta pivot in mindset from, hey, I'm paying all this tax. Like I pay a lot of tax, right? I file as a single person. I pay a lot of tax on my 9-to-5 income. And that's always been the case. And that's not changed. And that's been an age-old thing, right? That's just how it is. But we got to get away from this concept of, hey, like I'm a victim. I get taxed to high hell. Like like they're trying to hurt me. And instead be saying, well, actually, they're not trying to hurt you. What you have to understand is like, if you make $100,000 a year, it's not about that you make $100,000 a year. It's how much that you actually get to bring home. And the LLC enables you to bring home more because it's lowering your taxable income. So I just, I wish people didn't think of it, because this was me for a long time, probably 10 years, long time, where I was like, hey, well, like, I don't really understand how the LLC thing works. And like, how do you do taxes right? And I'm a little bit intimidated by making sure that I don't get audited and like this whole tax thing. And it's like, I also don't want to pay $500 for an accountant. But what you quickly understand is that you can write off the accountant costs. You can write off, like, there's so many things that you can lower that taxable income with, and people just won't embrace it. And that's what I think is hard. Is it's much like food, right? It goes back to not eating your green beans as a kid. Like, it's the same thing. People just won't do it.
And the thing that's really amazing to me is this idea, like I'm reading this article about how parents now are starting to finally, and I think we've talked about this exact thing on the show. Parents now are finally starting to figure out that you cannot send your kid to coding school in 8th grade anymore, because the highest paying non-degree jobs for college students are AI and machine-based learning jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys understand that non-degree college students in machine learning and AI are making more than their management report? The person they report to in management.
Yeah.
Making less than they are because they are in AI and machine learning.
Yeah.
And now parents are starting to figure out, I should, because there's still coding camps out there. And now parents are starting to figure out you got to send your kid to AI.
Coders are dead, bro.
Coders are dead. Coders are dead.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's wild. It is wild to me. It is wild to me that that people can't figure that out. And I hope that people do figure it out, because this right here, you're missing an opportunity. In about 18 months, I think within 18 months, there will be a massive real estate opportunity, because 27.4% of homes listed for sale took a price cut. The single largest number of homes ever listed in the history of real estate. There has never been a month where more homes took a price reduction than July.
Yeah.
It's coming. There's a reckoning coming.
Yeah.
Because everybody is, and this is the other thing with where we are right now. You've got to understand business. If they cut the Fed rate, that is not going to lower mortgage rates.
Yeah.
Because the Fed rate does not indicate on mortgages.
Oh, it's going to increase debt. It's going to make it harder to buy a house. And if you don't understand that, you need to get educated.
And by the way, a huge footprint on this show, Florida and Texas, worst housing states for sellers. Florida and Texas.
Yeah.
The worst house. I mean, it's crazy the way things are going in this country. And I really hope that you understand that college degrees are not what's winning right now. College degrees are not what's winning right now. I don't think there's any doubt AI and e-commerce are what's winning right now. And I'm not even sure that it's close. And when the best part about it is with TikTok and Instagram and X and all the social media platforms we have, if you get into AI, machine learning, or e-commerce, just create content around it. Create content around it, man. That's all you have to do. And then you have multiple streams of income. And they're long form, multiple streams of income. And that income will be enough to get you into real estate or whatever else you want to hold your money in long term. Real estate's not a quick one. Everybody, one of the things that I think people get crazy about is I want to flip houses. You don't want to flip houses.
No.
What you want to do is buy a house at 25 and sell it at 65 years old. 25 years old, 65 years old. And I don't even care if you ever live in it. It's an investment property. Right? Like, but people don't think, oh, they want a quick, I'm going to sell on Amazon and make $1 million in the first 6 months. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're going to scale that business and learn that business. You're going to make mistakes. But we don't think that way, man. And
you have time. You have time. Like the last thing I'll say is our relationship with time sucks. Like, yes, we don't live for a long time, but in terms of building a business, if you're 30 years old right now, like 5 years, you have 5 years. Build the business. Take your time. Do it the right way. Because when you're 50 and you're printing, 200 bands a month on Amazon, you're going to thank yourself for spending 5 years on that. Like,
yeah, I am amazed by it. Anyway,
we're not professionals, by the way. Don't take our advice. We're idiot podcast. So have a nice day.
Yeah, I would encourage you guys get consultations. They're free. Get a consultation with a financial advisor. Get a consultation with a tax person. And one of the things that I absolutely have in my life is a rock solid tax professional. And she does great work. And if you don't have a rock solid tax person and financial advisor, you are making a huge mistake because you absolutely need it. And you need a good lawyer. You need a good lawyer like the Advocates at theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business, 24/7, 365. It won't cost you a dime. You don't pay the Advocates unless and until they win your case. Start talking a lot of football tomorrow. Football Friday on Friday. Be well. Be healthy. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.